This is the Global Broadcasting Service, serving remote outposts since 1928.
Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express monorail.
Caramba, we have something really big for you today.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
This is the DBC Pod with Phil Schoen and Jason Dodge. Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's pod. This is a show for the week of August 4th, 2025. And it is a trip report episode. But, Phil, I don't know how long this is going to take.
Yep.
It's probably going to take multiple episodes. You have your trip. You have D23. We have guests coming on. So let's see how far we get.
Yeah.
We go for it. So just a reminder, I haven't been on the show for, well, we haven't recorded one together for like 3 weeks now, right? Because we had a pre-recorded, then you had Matt on last week, and now here we are.
Yep.
I went down, I was at Disney for 9 nights, 10 days from Tuesday the 22nd through just last Thursday, the 31st. I had arrived, we had started driving on the Sunday prior to that. I stayed at a hotel overnight on Monday, random place by SeaWorld, and then, of course, we booked in. So it's a long trip, and I'm excited to talk about it because I have a lot of takes that are kind of different, a different view of Disney World. But first, let's go over some construction news, only because there's a lot going on right now. So starting at the Magic Kingdom, two simple things. One is the crane was removed at Big Thunder. So they're making progress on that. All the track has been laid. And now it's testing, putting it in place, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a big thing. I didn't notice that I think the crane might have been removed when I was there. I just didn't notice it. I don't remember that. But
it was kind of a little around the back. So it was like in some angles you could see it and some you probably couldn't. And so now it's totally gone.
It is noticeable. I mean, I remember noticing it like right away when I was there early July. But last week, maybe I just wasn't looking for it. I don't know. Permits have been filed for the demolition of Aunt Polly's restaurant on Tom Sawyer's Island. So Tom Sawyer's Island is progressing. Last week I was checking some of the water levels that didn't seem like any different from like the pictures that we had.
Yeah, so I saw another one saying now it's down like another foot. It seems to be going down really gradually. I don't know why they do it the way they do it, but I guess
is it even planned that way? Is it just they're just letting it naturally? I don't know.
Just evaporating over time.
Yeah,
they're not refilling
that's it. No updates for Animal Kingdom other than like we just heard construction and stuff going there when I was down there. It looks really weird when you walk from Discovery Island and it's just like open sky, like you don't see trees anymore or anything. It's just really strange. Nothing on the Epcot front. At Hollywood Studios, obviously, this is the big one that we're going to be talking about. Stage 1 was demoed. That's the gift shop that was kind of in the middle of the Muppets courtyard. Now that's completely gone. I was there when it was happening. I heard some demolition, but then like 2 days later, it was completely gone.
Yeah, it was almost all gone in one day and totally gone in 2 days. It was crazy how quick it came down.
Yep, and of course there's all the arguments going on. Our friend Matt is having a lovely time on the message boards arguing with people about some people didn't think it had happened now and everything else. It's just construction. I don't know why people are arguing about it, but it looks kind of cool. I'm excited that it's moving quickly.
Yep.
So that's always good. Now they could like demo everything and then nothing happens for like a year. Like that could happen too. But like work is being done on the in the parking lot, so you can kind of see the shape of the building. I think that's really cool. Did you have any other takes on this other than it's happening fast?
It's happening fast. I think it's definitely nice that they didn't just close it off and then didn't really see anything.
Let
it's
it
good
sit
that it's
there,
going
yeah.
fast. I think it is going to be nice with that. Once it's done, you're going to have that open kind of view all the way down to where you'll see the factory in the background and stuff like that. I think it's going to be really nice. And the only other thing, and Drew hinted at this on his last podcast, is this seems to really be going fast, whereas Tropical Americas is kind of like they're still doing site prep and stuff. Like, do we think they could flip-flop the time frames and Monsters opens first and Tropical Americas goes like into 2028?
I don't think Tropical Americas pushes as of right now. We don't have an opening date for Monsters, so it could just go, right? Yeah. Whenever it's ready. That park needs more attractions. I'll talk about that later with
that's kind of the only thing this is making me think, just because where they're focusing on. And like you said, it's construction. It could just be these are the crews they had available now, and that's what they're going on. And a month from now, it could be completely reversed, and Tropical Americas is going fast. But for right now, it kind of made me look like they seem to really be moving on this one.
You know, I mean, I work with general contractors in my personal professional life, and sometimes crews are available certain days and other days. So sometimes you just fit something in, get it done, and then you move on to the other. But there's a lot of construction going on in Disney World. Other stuff, there's some construction walls up in the area between Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. I saw these. I was wondering what they were, but apparently it's for extra seating for Woody's Lunchbox, I guess, or...
It's kind of in a couple spots or stuff. It's really interesting if it's just things like that or whatever. If it's just helping with the transition or something, there's a couple like spots around there.
Yep. I don't know what that's going on. So that kind of surprised me when I saw it last week. But that's it for Hollywood Studios. There's some room refurb going on Animal Kingdom Lodge. There's a lot of bioreconstruct pictures out there for Lakeshore Lodge. You can kind of see some bird's eye view stuff. And then there's some other pictures like the laydown yards at Magic Kingdom. But no real updates. Nothing has really changed.
The only thing I'd say about Lakeshore Lodge is there are some blueprints going around that shows a lot of like the pool area, Lazy River, and it also shows that there is going to be a dock. And they've you can see it in Bio's latest photos that they're working on the dock now. So people were just worried, is it going to be sharing a dock with Fort Wilderness? It'll definitely have its own docks.
Yep, there we go. So I think we've seen the blueprints already with the Lazy River. I'm pretty sure maybe they're different now. Maybe they're updated. Yeah. In any case, those are all the construction updates. Big construction updates, not a lot of quantity, but a lot of quality, I guess. So interesting ones. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Okay. Now to my trip report, Phil. Okay. I have no idea how to start this, so I'm going to just dive right in. Again, like at the top of the show, 9 nights, 10 days. We had 8 days of park tickets. We had water parks the day of our check-in date. We had dining reservations for 7 of the 9 nights that we were there.
Okay.
Because we had the dining plan. We had hopper tickets. All right, that's all you need to know. We never set where we were going to go at each time. If you remember, we had achievements. We just kind of want to have vacation and not be like hard scheduling, like today's our Magic Kingdom day, today's our Hollywood Studios day. We generally had a rule where we'd be back at the hotel in the mid part of the day, every day. And then on Discord, I had some stats of how many times did I tap into a park each, how many hours that I spend in each park and at the resort. We'll kind of get to that. I don't know if it's the end of this show or the end of this part 2. We'll see. But I want to start off with this. Going down to Florida in the middle of the summer is always going to be hot, right? I'm okay in the heat. If it's 90-something degrees with high humidity, that's fine. I believe 5 of our 8 park days were in excessive heat warnings. High 90s, felt like 112, 115. It was oppressive, Phil. If you could somehow figure out when those excessive heat warnings were going to come, do not schedule your vacation during those times. There's a lot that we didn't get done because of that. I mean, there were certain parts of the day where just like all you were doing was looking for the next building to go to. There was no walking around. There was no taking your time outside. It was oppressive heat. And it was affecting the health of my family. And we were just like, we have to get out of the heat. Like you just couldn't keep up with hydration and everything else. It was quite unpleasant. So keep that in the back of your head throughout this trip.
It is interesting though to think about, because like obviously you knew it was going to be hot, and like I've always kind of said like, well, I'm expecting Florida to be hot in the summer, and your mind kind of goes to that. There's a big difference though between if it feels like 94 and it feels like 112. Like yeah, you know.
I mean, like the first couple days of our vacation, it felt like Florida hot. It was fine. We were out and about. We're having a good time. We did 4 parks in one day. We wouldn't have been able to do that with this heat. So it kicked up to like an extra notch for like 4 or 5 days. So that was terrible. But we managed and we had some fun. Okay, so my one takeaway here about the water park, right? Okay. Never been to any of the Disney water parks before. I'm not a water park guy, though I enjoy going down slides and doing all the fun stuff, but like I do it once or twice and it's like, okay, it's fine, whatever. The water park was absolutely fantastic for our day of. So much so that we're considering the next time we go down, whenever that might be, we might get Hopper Plus passes just so we have access to the water parks.
Nice.
The whole family really enjoyed it. The way we did it was, we had to scramble getting there for waiting for our room to get ready. I really don't like that whole thing. That's what everybody kind of guessed was going to be an issue. But the hotel knew about it and expected it because I think that's what everybody was doing anyway. So the first park we went to, all we did was the lazy river for literally an hour, and then we left. Kids had a lot of fun. Us grown-ups had a lot of fun. We didn't really have to do anything. And then we came back and whatever, and we went to the second water park, Typhoon Lagoon, and the wave pool, Phil, is absolutely fantastic. My kids are strong swimmers, but I had to be with them. But it was a lot of fun. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of the water park perk when you go down there. And assuming that you like water stuff, right? Obviously, but it was great. My only thing was, it's not the type of water park where you can kind of sit and relax and let your kids go play. I would definitely not do that. I need to be with my kids, even though they're very strong swimmers. I always get nervous. There's been accidents in wave pools and stuff like that, even with some of the strongest swimmers. But the water park perk was absolutely fantastic. That's a great way to start our vacation. Don't need to go to parks in the first day, feel rushed. You just kind of go in and just pack accordingly. Have an easily accessible, bathing suit and that type of stuff.
And I think what's nice when it's quote unquote free like that, like you said what you did with your first park where you just went in, did the lazy river for an hour and left, like you don't feel bad doing that, like you wasted any money, So I think that's what's nice about it. It's not like you have to go for the whole day and you're like, oh, we're not getting in until noon or 2 o'clock or something. It's like, go for an hour or two, like you said, while you're waiting for your room to be ready. It's just something to do. So.
Yeah, I mean, and it's nice because instead of just going to the hotel pool and just kind of sitting there, you can go have fun and do some new stuff. So it was really good. The food options were good. We had like hot dogs and quick service meals, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think, I don't know how many times in a trip I would do it. There were certain times in the hot, like, hey, do you want to just do a water park this evening and relax? But my only thing, again, like I said before, you can't, like, in the pools of the hotel, you could sit by poolside at a table, have a beer, and your kids are swimming in the pool. You cannot do that at a water park because the kids are going to be running around, getting lost, or sitting in lines and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a different thing. So he's more active with the family than anything else. But the water park perk, really surprised how much I enjoyed it, for sure. All right, so we went down. My daughter and I had our down and back trip in early July. It was July 2nd. The crowds were pretty low. Excuse me. And we were able to get on a lot of rides. Our Lightning Multipass had high value. I have a sheet here for the touring plans crowd calendar. Overall crowds for the vast majority of my stay were 3s and 2s. And I think the busiest one was Animal Kingdom and the 5s and 7s, which I don't think is absolutely the case. But everything else was 1s, 2s, and 4s. Now, we could talk about Lightning Multipass a little bit later as we're kind of talking about things. The crowds felt like it was a high moderate, like maybe like a 5 or a 6 everywhere we go. And Lightning Multipasses were few and far in between, except for some of like the lower range rides and stuff like that. And my guess is because of the extreme heat, there was nobody just like walking through the park, having a beer, relaxing, that sort of thing. There was like everybody was just scrambling for shopping, rides, like Living with the Land. I think I shared a picture on Discord with Living with the Land. It had a 30-minute wait, like at 12:30 in the afternoon, and it was packed. I mean, like everybody's just trying to get out of the heat. So I think
I was going to say anything that had an indoor queue, probably becomes higher demand.
Like Finding Nemo had a line out the door. Like you couldn't walk into that thing. So that was like nuts. So again, I thought the crowds were going to be low. I guess I would imagine that they were because, like, walking around, you weren't like pushing past a lot of people, but everybody was literally inside doing something. So it felt crowded in the places where you wanted to get things done. So again, another thing. So I want to talk about achievements now. I'm kind of like peppering through these things here.
No, it's all good.
Achievements. So if you don't remember, somehow you don't remember, because I've only been talking about this for like 6 months. We wanted to do like video game achievements, like, go on 10 rides a day, do all the rides here, there, that type of thing. I had made like 83 of them, and we managed to get 42 of them were completed. So I'm going to run through some notable misses that we had, Phil, for you.
Okay. Oh, good.
So we did not do all the rides at Epcot. We missed almost all the shows and everything in the Seas Pavilion, including in Living with the Land. Living with the Land was just, again, doing all the movies and strolling. Like, we did not stroll through the countries like we'd like to and kind of do that, because that was a big miss for our whole family. However, because of the heat, it was really not conducive to doing that. We did manage to see Impressions de France and Reflections of China, but none of the other movies. And Living with the Land was the only other attraction that we did not do. The only rides that we didn't do at Hollywood Studios were Toy Story Mania, Frozen Sing Along, and Beauty and the Beast. We managed to do everything else.
Toy Story Mini, was that just because you didn't get to it, or was it always having a high weight? That seems to be like not the hardest one to get on. So I was just wondering, like,
I couldn't get a lightning for it for the days that I had it, or if I did, we had other things to go to, and we always thought we can come back and get it. And when we were there to kind of clean up some of the attractions, I had like a 35-minute wait, and I didn't feel like waiting for it.
Gotcha.
We did not do all the rides in Magic Kingdom, unfortunately. Magic Kingdom was a little tough, but we did not do Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, PhilharMagic, Hall of Presidents, Country Bears, Enchanted Tales with Belle, Mermaid, because when we wanted to do it, it opened a day early, so we were going to go do it, but it had a delayed opening, and the carousel. So we didn't do those attractions. And at Animal Kingdom, we just didn't do the animal treks and all the shows just because of the heat and everything else like that. We had another achievement to go on the Haunted Mansion 5 times. I thought we might be able to do this. We only managed to get on 2. We had a third lined up with a lightning lane, but it was so hot we decided to go back to the resort rather than stick around for another 35 minutes in the heat in the parks. So that was kind of a detriment. We had another one for all the monorail resorts. We didn't get into the Contemporary. For some reason, we said wanted to do all the Skyliner resorts, but we just never stopped at Caribbean Beach. I mean, we flew over it. I don't know if you want to count that, but we did not step foot in their property, so I did not count it. And Pop Century, we didn't actually explore and go over the bridge and everything else because, again, very, very hot, not really conducive to kind of wandering around and stuff like that. So that kind of put a damper on that. Another one that we had was see a nighttime spectacular every night. And I really like the idea of this one, like kind of strolling into the park, seeing a night fireworks, that type of thing. But in reality, Phil, the fantasy in my mind of easily just strolling into a park and seeing fireworks is way too much. As you get to see with some of the stats I might have a little bit later. We managed to go to Fantasmic the first night, but there was one of the fountains broke down. So just like, when at the beginning of the show, when Mickey raises his hands and the big giant fountain shoots up like 60 feet in the air, that just stayed on. Okay. And so they shut down the show and they're like, it's temporarily, we're waiting. It's temporarily down, whatever. And we waited for like 5 minutes. We're like, all right, let's go. We're tired and just go back to the room. Then we did Happily Ever After, Luminous. And then, by that third night, it was like, I just kind of want to sit by the pool and have like the night swim, lazy evening type of thing. So I tossed this achievement out at the window. It's not a good one. It is definitely not, a good one for the vacation to vacation, stuff. So the next one was go on 15 or 20 rides in a day. We did not achieve either of those. Our most was 13. Even though for our 4 days, 4 parks in one day, it was obviously about 4 hours of transport.
Sure.
When you add it together, so we couldn't do it, though we did get close. I talked about this, so that we go on every boat ride. We didn't do Living with the Land. It's an unfortunate miss. And the silly one was get popcorn in every park. And we just didn't get it at Epcot for whatever reason. Like on the way out last day, it's like, we should buy popcorn. Oh, I'll buy popcorn down a little bit more. And then I realized there's no popcorn in the World Showcase. So, and the popcorn in Canada had like a really long line.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's usually a go-to, but yeah.
So I was like, all right, we didn't do that. So those were our achievements. So overall, Phil, the achievements were pretty fun. We always wanted to use the achievements to drive our interactions for the next day, but we were so busy in all the parks that when we got home, there was like no one wanted to even like look at the achievements. There was just shower, go to bed, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But they did kind of guide things that we needed to do. And one of the things is because of my type A personality of how I drive Disney vacations. Before, it was always lightning lanes that drove you to the next thing. Halfway through the thing, I had to stop myself because doing every ride in Walt Disney World was something I wanted to do. And I was just pushing my whole family to go, we got to go on this show. We got to go to this show. We got to go to this show. But like no one really wanted to go on these shows. So I was like, I got to relax. It's not that big of a deal. We'll potentially do it another time sort of thing. So that was kind of funny. But all the kids love putting stickers. I don't know if this is showing up on the video here, but we had like little round stickers that we had to put on all of them. I managed to got some painter's tape and I taped them all to the wall. So there's a big giant grid of achievements in our room and we just moved into another wall as we completed them. And the kids really loved. My son was like memorizing all of them. It's like, oh, Dad, we need to do this one and this one and this one. So that that was kind of really fun. I would recommend it to a family that wants to kind of do something different. Again, we kind of just drifted around the parks a little bit, which we'll talk about, and maybe this is a good segue for park hopping. We've never had a family trip with park hoppers before we really utilized them. We had park hoppers back in 2019. We never really used them because we had kids in strollers. It was just a pain in the butt to get on and off transportation. I tell you what, Phil, because I know you have hoppers, in November when you're going down?
That's the plan, yeah.
Hoppers are absolutely fantastic with your family if you have the right mindset and you want to do things. If you want to use them properly, do not push yourself to see how many parks you can go to in one day, and you we got to go to another park to make it worthwhile. That type of thing. Generally, we had food in a couple different places, and that drove where we wanted to go. But afterwards was, there was a time where, all right, kids, we haven't seen Indiana Jones. You guys don't want to go swimming. Let's go over to Hollywood Studios. We go to Hollywood Studios. We saw the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular and came back to the resort. Or we were at dinner at Epcot and we needed to go see Fantasmic. So we just hopped over to Fantasmic and watched the fireworks show. The freedom that you get where now Walt Disney World is your backyard with hoppers is absolutely fantastic. It's freeing, Phil. It's freeing from all of our spreadsheets and, Disney World dimension that we have that we drive ourselves nuts with. The idea that you don't have to plan anything and you can just go to any park and kind of relax and get things done is absolutely fantastic. So I recommend everybody out there who has kids that can go through the hustle bustle of going all over, because it's a lot of walking, obviously, right? You're leaving and going back, that type of thing. It is so much better than saying, here's my Magic Kingdom day, and all we're going to do is the Magic Kingdom. Because then the next day, you're like, well, I don't have Magic Kingdom day anymore. I need to make sure I do everything in the Magic Kingdom. Now it's just like you can go in and out, getting the experiences that you want and not kind of pushing yourself throughout the park. Highly recommend it for those that it's like their third, fourth trip that, if they don't make it to a certain ride, they're okay with it, or they don't need to spend all day in a park because they've never been there and they want to explore it. So I highly recommend it.
I'm hoping we can keep that attitude, and I'm not looking at it like, well, let's figure out the best puzzle for going from this park to that park. One of the main reasons I want to have it is because when we're going, the holiday parties have started. Mm-hmm. So I want to be able to kind of we could start at Magic Kingdom, even if there's a party that night, and then hop somewhere else or something like that. So I'm hoping though that I go in with that mindset of we can hop somewhere else or something like that. Not we need to get to 3 parks today because I paid for this upgrade today.
Right. I mean, you naturally end up if you're having more of a relaxing kind of vacation where you're not go. The only time we really need to strategize is there's a party, so we can go one park and go somewhere else, or you're trying to do 4 parks in one day just because, right? Then you can strategize how you get around. The only thing I would recommend is having an idea of how you're doing your transportation, staying on property, obviously. But I typically never spent more than 3 or 4 hours in any given park at any given time, and it was quite refreshing because I find that I get bored of a park in my 6th, 7th hour when now it's instead of being in the park and enjoying it, you're just hustling, you're crisscrossing for the
especially
time.
In the heat, it's going to feel like a chore to get from area to area. If you're just look, we've done 3 hours, let's take a break and then do something else. Or
yeah, 100%. We ended up buying Lightning Multipass a week prior for the 7-day mark for 2 days. Our 4 parks in one day, which was very beneficial. That was our 3rd day that we were there, including our so it was our 2nd full park day. So we had our check-in day, first day, and then our second park day. So yes, our third day there, 2nd park day, and I found that was pretty good. I mean, we were able after the first initial couple, we were just using Lightning lanes for everything. We weren't waiting on big lines. That was pretty nice. The only longest line is we rope drop Flight of Passage in the morning, even though we had a single pass for that later on in the vacation. We had a 40 minute wait in the morning for it. But everybody loves that attraction, so it was great. I did end up buying Lightning Lane Multipass the night before for another day, where my wife and I were going to rope drop. The kids were going to catch up to us later on that morning, and it ended up not being worth it whatsoever. So
interesting.
I'll fill in the day by day type stuff a little bit later. So we managed to get good attractions. I mean, we got Space Mountain, which again I don't think is that valuable. And then we got a couple, I forget whether tier 2s that we have. There's Haunted Mansion and not Peter Pan, Speedway, because the kids wanted to do that also. But then I kept using it, but then it kind of ran out. That was the longest we were at Magic Kingdom the whole week that day. And it was just all this 2nd tier attractions. And I did manage to fiddle faddle and get a Haunted Mansion at the end that we ended up not using. And then we go back to the resort because it's so hot and we want to stay there. Then all that Lightning Lane Multipass timing that you have is just out the window. Nothing was available at Epcot whatsoever on any day that's worthwhile. Like the big three,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Test Track, Frozen, or Remy. Even with checking in Hollywood Studios was like completely gone. Like if you didn't have the big ones booked like before like 10 a.m., like you weren't getting them unless you got like a 9 o'clock one or something like that, right? So that was kind of disheartening. That was a big chunk of money as an experiment. It was a $200 experiment, but it is what it is. But we got some use out of it without waiting in line, so it was fine. Next one. So another thing that was a kind of a first was my mother traveled everywhere on a scooter, right? She had foot surgery a couple months ago, so she didn't want to do a lot of walking. She's never been on a scooter before. Normally fully healthy. She can walk as long as she wants. She's in pretty good shape. And the only detriment to traveling with a scooter was that you add about 5 minutes to every Skyliner leg that you do, because the way it does is like they have special Skyliners that come off the track and kind of go over to where the handicap section is, and you have to wait, like once you get loaded up you have to wait like a minute to get pushed in, right? So there's like a loading process in and out. Granted, when you have lines like at Epcot late of the day, you go kind of almost up to the front a little bit, but you still have like, I don't know, a couple minutes per load that you have to go on. It's not continuously loading. So put about 5 minutes. So normally it'd take, like, for example, going from Art of Animation to the Caribbean Beach Hub was normally like a, from the back of our door was maybe like a 12-minute ride, walk plus Skyliner ride. It now became like 17, 20 minutes to get there, because you're adding 5 minutes to each time that you have to load. So kind of keep that in mind if you're a logistics person. Other than that, my mom was easily, driving through. I've never noticed how many people just ignore you on a scooter. So I understand why people get hit, because you're not paying attention. And a lot of people were quite rude. Just like when we were loading a vehicle, everybody just got pushed in front of my mother as she was like kind of leading the way, which was rather annoying. I always like to allow people in wheelchairs and scooters to go first. But a lot of people didn't. So that's another thing I noticed. Being able to get on the buses first was rather nice on some of those things, but first in, last out also. So you have to keep that in mind as well. But it was a really good experience. We rented from Buena Vista Scooters or Rentals, and they were very good. So if you need a scooter, I would recommend that company. But overall, it was good. The battery never ran out, unless the battery meter was broken and it like never diminished. So we were always kind of worried about that. That was fine. So that's another kind of thing I wanted to bring up. Like, if you have a family member or a friend that needs a scooter, or like they're on the fence about it. Like, maybe they do it, maybe they don't. They don't typically have an ECV. I recommend getting it if they're not too sure about it. It's really easy to get around and park it and stuff like that. So
especially with your long trip, like it'd be one thing if she was doing 2 days or something, but to go like 8 days when you're like a little,
it
definitely makes sense. We had it once from my mother-in-law, and it generally worked out fine, but she's definitely not the best driver of it. She's never done it, so definitely some issues getting on and off like the monorail and things like that. But,
my mother had a couple accidents. She ran into a couple tables and stuff like that around the pool because there's no brakes on it. Like that's the one thing.
You just let go, like you stop going and it slows down, but there's no brakes.
Yeah, so she was like, and the way the handles went, like if you were to squeeze with your left hand, that would go forward, and you push it with your fingers, that goes forward. But it's the complete opposite with the right hand, because it's basically, I don't know, it was just basically a single bar. So it's like either side was different. It was strange. A couple of times when I went to go pick it up for him, I had some issues backing up just because I couldn't remember which way was backwards.
Yeah.
On it. So take that into account. Next point I want to talk about, I want to talk about the Disney dining plan, right? Now, the one thing that was very detrimental to the Disney dining plan for us this year was that the heat did not make us very hungry. So there's often that we would have like a big dinner or breakfast, and we wouldn't need to eat or get hungry until the evening. It was quite weird, and we can eat as a family. We went to Whispering Canyon Cafe, Topolino's, St. Angelin, Cinderella's Royal Table, Chefs de France, at Boma, and Yak and Yeti. We left our vacation with one quick service, one kids quick service, and one snack still left in our tally. There's a couple nights where we just didn't eat dinner, or we just had like two things and everybody kind of nibbled and everybody was okay with that. I
Given
don't
the heat and stuff like that, that's not too bad to only have the 2 individual meals and a snack left. Like,
Yeah. We didn't need the food. I was afraid that we'd run out of snacks, so I was kind of paying for some of the stuff along the way. But ultimately, it kind of worked out if we had just one snack left, type of thing. The one thing that we didn't plan on using, which was nice on our departure morning, I bought quick service breakfast for everybody on the way out. So we had quick service credits left over for our last day, which we didn't plan for. Another tip I really liked, shout out to Matt on this one, is when you go to quick service meals at your resort, you can pick up alcohol, like a can of beer, a plastic bottle of wine. There's like whiskey mules. There's all like canned products and stuff like that. If you are somebody that likes to enjoy a adult beverage and you have children that are adults on the dining plan,
that are Disney adults, not
Disney
actually adults.
Tell them to sit by the pool and go get, like, for example, we had 6 people on our trip. One was a Disney child. She's 7. Everybody else was over 10 or older. My wife doesn't really drink, and my mother might have one beverage every other night or something else like that. So every time we had either a lunch or dinner at the resort, I would go and get all the quick service meals and have a drink on all of them. So I would always I must have had a 24-pack worth of alcohol for the whole week. And I never had to buy a drink unless I wanted. I went to the bar one day to get a margarita or something else like that. But that was it. So I highly recommend doing that if you're at your resort buying something. And Matt kind of tipped us into that with his trip report from last November. So that was pretty awesome. And they have pretty good selections. They have good beers and wine and stuff like that. It's not cheap stuff, and you're not like getting like 6 Bud Lights or something else like that, right? So that was really good. One last point. I don't know where to put my reviews for the restaurants.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to cover those now or when you do your day by day.
I think I'm going to do it by day because I don't want to just speed through all of them,
Gotcha.
right? They're worth talking about. The last thing I want to bring up as kind of like a quick takeaway is I think Matt mentioned this in Discord, but it was the diet version of Epcot. You know, I enjoy Epcot. We went in our last vacation where we did not have hoppers. We added an extra day of Epcot versus Hollywood Studios at all because we enjoy Epcot. Diet Epcot is an Epcot without a festival. It is a terrible park without festivals. Maybe the heat has something to do with this, et cetera, but there's nothing to do. Now, granted, if you've only been there a handful of times, this is like your second, third, or fourth time being there, it's not an awful park, right? Like go in, explore go on all the different rides, whatever. But this is our umpteenth time being at Epcot. I like Epcot going from country to country, having snacks and beverages and kind of walking around, that sort of thing. You can't do that. I wanted to have like a snack at Japan. There's nothing open. Like you have to go somewhere and kind of go in the back.
It's definitely more. You have to like go find the quick service, or there's like booths in the back or even into the stores and stuff like that. It's not, there's definitely like stands around in all the countries, but it's not like when there's a festival and they're right on the water there. And it's kind of like you pass them automatically. You kind of have to seek them out more. And I think the heat probably did have a big part of that, where you're like, I don't want to like spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes trying to find something when it's 110 degrees out.
So there wasn't really any live entertainment. There was nothing new to look at. It was basically base Epcot, which is still great. We went on all the rides and everything else, but like spending time in Epcot, walking around is one of my favorite things to do. The heat plus no entertainment, there was no singers or anything else like that. Stuff like it just wasn't there, and it was just kind of like, because you're going to go down in a couple weeks or soon, and
we'll be there on opening day of the Food and Wine Festival.
Exactly,
so like a completely different experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only other thing was Epcot wasn't as crowded as it typically is.
That's
it was
true.
The first night that we were there, but like other than that, it was not enjoyable, unfortunately. Though we did go in our last night there to eat at Chefs de France, and it was quite lovely, kind of going in and going to the restaurants.
Yeah, and I guess some of the extra stuff they have going on now for the summer is the Cool Kid Summer and Goofy and stuff like that, but your kids might be a little bit older for that or something. But
we went in there, and yes, it's all like preschool kids and younger, right? Maybe kindergarten age kids. But my daughter was in there and got like kind of watched Goofy play around and kind of danced around the other kids, but she felt too old. I mean, she's going into second grade. But I tell you what, the air conditioning in that building is like super crisp. I mean, it is cold in there. That was phenomenal, right? My mom was starting to like, I need to leave. It's too hot. She was drooping. You could see her like losing
Just
energy.
getting drained, yeah.
And she went in there and just revitalized her. Right, there's a water bottle filling station right outside, like kind of in the front. Not when you come in through like the Journey of Water side, but on the other side, by the entrance of like the meet and greet that's there. There is a water bottle filling station. I kept my eyes out for all the new ones that they've been adding over the years, so that's really good. You can go get ice at the there's like that outdoor. I forget what it's called, like the festival.
It's like Festival Favorites.
Yes, thank you. They give you ice. You can kind of refill, go in there. I wish I had known that, because the first time we went in there, I ran all the way to the living with I diverted us. We were in there and like, we need to go get water. Let's go to the land pavilion. And that was a disaster because just everybody was in there. And I hate that pavilion because it just smells weird to me. But we left, we went back, and it was like, oh, it was good. There were families just loving it in there. Like, everybody's like poo-pooing this online, like, oh, it's a terrible waste of space. It is absolutely fantastic. You had one like host that's like running around. He's all in bright colors, getting the kids to dance, really engaging. Goofy's in there like tumbling around on the floor and like playing with the kids. Like, how many times could you get your 4-year-old to kind of go dance with Goofy? Like, he's having like kids and they're like rolling around and dancing. It's
for
great.
that age segment, which is definitely a segment, Epcot needs as much as it can get for that age segment. It sounds perfect.
It was.
And it sounds like
phenomenal.
It's going to be memories that those families will have.
Oh,
forever.
absolutely! Like, and then they had a DJ in the center playing music. It was absolutely fantastic. And we went in when there wasn't like a set going on either, right? It was just like random games being played, and Goofy was still there, like hanging out. Like, it's not Goofy comes in for 5 minutes and then leaves. Like, he was there for like the whole 30 minutes that we were just.
It's probably easier with the because they can be outside, right? But in the air conditioning, they can hang out for a little longer.
So that was really good. I'm going to list a bunch of new things that I did personally when we were there. The first one, we're not going to go too in depth because you're going to be seeing it for the first time this week, is Starlight the Parade. The only thing I'm going to tell you, Phil, I want to keep your eye on it, and we'll talk about more in depth in next show, is I love how it's at 9 and 11 currently right now during the summer. It adds a new dynamic to park logistics.
Mm-hmm.
My 7-year-old was absolutely enamored by it. Like, waving, engaged. It's a beautiful parade. People are complaining about how many floats there are, or the costumes, whatever. Costumes are fantastic. The floats are fantastic. The music is really cool. This is a home run in our place. And like, to me, you can end the day with that type of parade. It gives you all the same kind of feels as like Happily Ever After does too. So really make sure you get a good vantage point for it. I don't know how prolific this is, but where we were sitting in front of Town Hall in the on Main Street, people were actually, people were like, not by the firehouse, but closer to the exit on the right side of the railroad there. People were sitting down watching the parade, allowing people like behind to sit down and like stand up behind those people. So
So it's like a couple rows of people sitting.
Yep.
Not just on the curb. Okay.
Again, people are lining up for this thing like an hour before, so maybe they're sitting down anyway, and they just continue to sit down. I don't know if that's consistent across every single night, but for us, the couple times that we see people in the parade, it was really great. So,
how many times did you see it?
We only saw it. We saw it once. Okay. Right. And then we were only at Magic Kingdom one other night at that time, and we managed. We wanted to do rides instead of like sit around, right? Because basically that's going to take your last 3 hours of the park up, because you can't really do anything between parade and fireworks. We saw the new test track. Obviously, we had a lightning lane for it. It had consistently in between like a 60 and 1 to 2 hour wait time the whole time we were there. Never saw it on Lightning Lane Multipass ever. I love the new queue. Again, didn't go in through the regular queue, just the Lightning Lane queue. The ride itself is really well done. Like, all the different, the scenes and stuff like that are really cool. Seemed rather short. It's definitely a really great ride, but I was kind of confused why Len would give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I think he said something like that. Now that it's been about a week since I saw it, I'm like, he's probably right about that, because it's not lame at all, but like the voices that telling you what the car is doing as you're going through it are like, okay. And it's just like, it's much better than Test Track 2.0. Let's put it that way. I think this is the best iteration of Test Track, but it's still not like a marquee, like crazy good attraction like a Guardians or a Remy or like even a Frozen, right? But it's definitely it's definitely worthwhile doing. Again, I'm not trying to spoil. I know you. I think you've seen the videos, right?
I haven't watched the full POV, but I've watched a lot of it because I figured it was going to be a while. So I've seen the.
Have you seen the exit scene before you go outside?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so spoilers. Fast forward 30 seconds or whatever. It's the last room. The door was open for us, and it's just a massive screen. It's like the futuristic of travel, and you can kind of shoot out the door. And that was like eye opening. That was a fantastic scene. Everything else was kind of like vehicles of the future, technology, that sort of thing. It was neat. Kids liked it. It was kind of educational, but it was like, okay, let's go on to the next one type of thing. There was no like raving about it or talking about it later on, that type of thing.
Okay.
We saw the villains and the new Mermaid show at Hollywood Studios. First, I want to say both are absolutely fantastic. Right? People were worried about villains. Was it?
Yeah, I was interested in your take on that because the video makes it seem not bad, but like just a little empty-ish or like a little underwhelming maybe for what it could be.
It is absolutely not underwhelming. Okay. It is almost overwhelming with the stuff that's going on. Right? So we saw that and Mermaid. We saw them the last park day. It was like the last day. I'm like, we need to go to Hollywood Studios and see these two new shows because we haven't seen them in the last 7 days. Like, we need to do this, right?
Yeah.
So we went to Villains first. We got into the building. Because my mother was in a scooter, we sat in the very front row, and that's awful viewing. Do not sit in the front row because you can't see everything.
Is that the only spot for the scooters?
No, there's other places to go, but like we could probably have parked and got off and sat anywhere, but it is what it is. The reason why I say it's overwhelming and not underwhelming is there's only room for one performer on stage.
Okay.
Like if there's multiple performers, it'd be too crowded.
Okay, so it's not a big stage. Okay.
No, absolutely not. It's probably like 25 feet across, like the openings between like both sides of like the mirrors, at least from my perspective. It could be off by whatever. You've got like the doorway where Cruella pops out of, like in the first part, like that part moves across the stage back and forth. That was really cool. Some really cool effects. There's always something going on in the mirrors, and they're singing. Like there's no like it just keeps on going. There's no stopping. There's screens and effects, everything going on all together, and it was a fun show. I mean, like, would I do that? Would I do it again? I would do it again. I had fun doing it. Again, we just did our planner filler skipper episode. Mm-hmm. This is definitely a filler type of thing, but not something I wouldn't skip it like Lightning Academy. I would skip that one. Villains, it's a filler. Like if we're at Rock and Roller Coaster, everybody goes on. If Villains is showing, let's pop in there and see that too because it's a fun show. That's kind of like where I'm at with it. The Mermaid show was absolutely gorgeous, Phil. What they've done with I've
seen clips of it and stuff, but I haven't watched the whole thing. So.
Do I need to be kind of spoilery?
No, I mean, at best, we're going to see it when we go in November. So that's
okay. Away, so the show is absolutely lovely. It's a book report show, right? Don't get me wrong, but the effects with puppets and then projections, there's layers to projections, and it looks like you have live action in the middle of a cartoon on stage with the screens and everything else that they're doing. It is the stagecraft was just amazing, Phil. What they've done with this old stage, new effects, and the projections, and then the screens, and then live acting and puppets all kind of combined was absolutely amazing, Phil. The worst part was the Ursula puppet, and it was still good, right? But that was like the worst thing, and it was still a phenomenal puppet, but that was the worst thing. I mean, the Ursula puppet gets a B+, A- for me, and that was the worst thing. Just put it that way, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's the same kind of show. It's just you have to see the effects live. It looks like you're watching a cartoon with live action in it and right in front of you in real time, and it's really good. So then after we got done, I went to the kids. It's like, what did you like better? I went to everybody, right? Mermaid or Villains? All the adults said they liked Mermaid better. All the kids said they loved Villains better.
That's interesting.
And by far, like it wasn't like they were like Mermaid. Yeah, it was fun. Whatever. My daughter was kind of singing through the music. It was fun. Villains was amazing. It was cool. Like they were like emphatic with like their response to it. So I'd be curious if we ever get like some data from Len, like, you know, the younger people love Villains. Like it's a 4.5 and the adults is like a 3 or
which is interesting because like without seeing them, you'd almost think it'd be the reverse. Where Villains is aimed a little older, you know, maybe. But you're not the first person who said that. We have other Disney friends that their daughters, I think about the same age as your youngest, and she said the same thing. Loved Villains way more than Mermaid and stuff like
I mean,
that. So-
the villains, the stage with all the screens and the effects, it's so bright, it's so crisp. It's like kids that are growing up on kids' YouTube and all this other stuff. It's like it's built for that audience,
Oh, okay.
right? Like it's fast moving, fast paced. You know, Cruella comes out and does their song. The mirror comes back up and says the routine. Then Hook comes out. Then it's the evil queen or Maleficent comes out. And then it's just like it's all this stuff going on, and it's just like wow, that's really good. The only thing I think that you could do better with the show is if every day they had a different villain, right? Like right now they've got Cruella, Maleficent, and Hook. Like then maybe for another week, some point that they run 3 other villains, or they always kind of mix and match for like a run type of thing, right? Like not like every show, but like all right, this week we've got these villains. So like every time you go, it's kind of like Millennium Falcon or Star Tours, where it's like you don't know what villains you're going to get today. And it wasn't like you were worried about whether or not it was going to be like, oh, I got to sympathize with the villains, that type of thing. It really doesn't come across that way. It's more like they're trying to convince you that they're the most misunderstood, but they're still kind of evil about it. But like, I don't know how to. It's not. You're not sympathetic with them. You're just kind of cheering them on. Like, I want Hook to beat Cruella versus like I think Hook is a really good guy.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay. That's fair.
So, like, they're still villains, but you say, which villain do you like the best out of all of them, right? Which I guess is kind of weird because we're cheering on villains, but
I guess that's
fun.
What Villains Land's probably going to be, right?
So that was fun. Another new thing that we did was the Boneyard, right? It was so hot, I gave my kids 5 minutes to run around. We went down on a slide, whatever. I walked in. Boneyard's pretty cool. I'm not sad to see it go. Hopefully Disney has something just as fun.
I mean, we know they're building a new
right.
amusement park or a new playground, and it's supposed to have some water effects and stuff too. I think I would be like, I thought it was set up very well and it was cool. I'd be more upset if it was just going away and there wasn't going to be a playground, but as long as they're replacing it with something else, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The Boneyard was pretty cool. We did Up Close and Personal with the rhinos. I forget the actual name of it. I think
it's just called Up Close with Rhinos. Yeah.
Up Close with Rhinos. I don't know why I keep adding personal. It was very personal. I did touch a rhino, which I'll never get to do. This was rather inexpensive. I think it's like $50 a person or $40 a person. It's like 30 something like that, right?
Yeah.
We did it with all 6 of us. We got to the park early. We had some breakfast. We went on the rhinos. The cast members were absolutely fantastic. The keepers were absolutely fantastic. We kind of went into the backstage area and gave a little speech about rhinos. We went around to the side. We petted them as we were watching them feed and everything else like that. And then it was done. It was like an hour, right? So it's like 10 minutes to get in and out. Maybe a 20-minute speech and then 30 minutes of just kind of watching a rhino like 5 feet in front of you, like eat hay. I mean, it was really cool. I recommend that to anybody going there that doesn't mind spending the extra $100 or so for their family.
I just looked up and it was $49 a person now, but I think it's
variable.
It might vary a little bit. And I think we did it a few years ago and it was cheaper than that. So it's
call it $50. I mean, if you're a family of 4, I think it's definitely worth the $200 if you can swing it and that's not hurt your pocketbook, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really great.
I mean, it's the same as a meal or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And but book that super early because that does fill up. They only do one of these a day, right? And there's like 10 people. Like 10 people a day get to do this. Book this early. This has to be a priority for your booking. The last thing that we did was for my birthday / Christmas / birthday / Christmas for the next couple years. My mother bought us a ticket to go into Savi's lightsaber workshop. We left Savi's workshop to build a lightsaber. And Phil, have you ever done this before?
I haven't done the lightsaber. We've only done the droid.
I have to say, I'm a big Star Wars nerd and basically an OG original trilogy nerd. This was absolutely great. I mean, what is it? Is the lightsaber worth $226? I think it's $226 now. $226? No. I'd pay $150 for the lightsaber. I think that's more than fair, but like you get a $70 experience that goes along with it. The cast members are absolutely fantastic. The whole ceremony, you can go watch the ceremony on YouTube. It's been up there for years, right? I think it's really, really great. I brought my son. He's not a big Star Wars guy, but he just loves everything. He loves Star Wars, but he's not like into Star Wars, right? And he had like just look of awe on his face as he was going through the whole process. I had to force him to build a lightsaber I wanted to, like kind of maneuver him around. Like, you want the blue crystal? We're not going to be a Sith crystal, right? We want the blue crystal. But like that was really great. I have it. The lightsaber's over there. I got to figure out a way to kind of display it properly or something else like that. But it was a really fun experience. Again, another way to go right into all we did was we went to Hollywood Studios, we built a lightsaber, bought some blue milk, and then we went back to the resort while everybody was swimming. So another great use for hoppers, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of do those type of things.
I think that experience, it's the big thing is just the cost, and that I don't have a spot or I don't have the desire to kind of like collect the lightsaber and stuff. So I think if it was the reverse where I could pay like $70 to just do the experience and not keep the lightsaber or something, I might be more into it. It's just there's other things I'd rather spend money on. But I've heard like the people that have done it, I've heard nothing but good things about the experience.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. I don't know if I would do it for just paying $70 to kind of build a lightsaber, swirl around, and then give it back. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I
mean,
think
maybe
it's worth
it's the
$70.
idea that you're building your own. I'm sure that's part of it and stuff like that. It's just I'm not spending $200+ on it, but
yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of money. I don't think I would, only because it was a gift. So there we go. All right, so I have stats here, Phil. We had some guesses on
Discord, yeah.
on Discord, kind of like see if anybody got right. And again, these are not super accurate, and these are from my perspective. Other people have tapped in less or whatever. So the first one is, how many times have I tapped into each park? And Phil, what were your guesses? Let's go over that first. We'll just use your guesses.
So my guess is because you said you tapped into the parks. One was 5 times, 6 times, 2 times, and 6 times.
Correct.
So I guess I started with the 2 times for Animal Kingdom.
That's correct.
And then I said the next lowest one, 5, was Hollywood Studios.
That's incorrect. That was
Okay.
Magic Kingdom.
Okay, and then I picked the other 2 were Epcot and Magic Kingdom.
Yep. So Epcot and Hollywood Studios I tapped in 6 times. Again, one of those times was just going in to build a lightsaber and come out, right? So that was that. Another one was tapping in one time just to go see Fantasmic at the end of the night and come out too. So like we were racking them up there. So I also calculated hours.
Yep.
So what did you have for the hours?
So
for
for
each
your
park?
total hours, I had for 20 and a half hours, I had Hollywood Studios.
That was Magic Kingdom.
Okay. Magic Kingdom, I said, was at 19 hours. So that was
That's
close.
Hollywood Studios. So they were
Okay, so
swapped.
I just had them flipped. So that was pretty close.
Yep.
Then I had 14 hours for Epcot and 10 hours for Animal Kingdom.
That is correct. And on average, I don't know if you probably do the math now that I know everything, but I'll just go over it real quick.
Yeah.
I spent an average of 4 hours in Magic Kingdom, 2.8 hours in Epcot, 5 hours at Animal Kingdom, and 2.7 hours at Hollywood Studios every time I went in. Now, I also had tracked how many hours I was in the resort for like the vacation type of thing.
Yep.
And we had, this is counting any time that we had left the resort and came back. So not the morning and leading up to when we leave, right?
Oh, okay. So just during the day. Okay.
So like we'd have to leave the resort and then come back, and that's when the timers clicked. And then when we come back at the end of the day, right? There's one day that we came back at 7 p.m. and we swam until the pool closed, which was 4 hours. So those 4 hours counts. Sleeping doesn't count. Like when we were in our room. So basically we're at the resort, probably in the pool. Essentially, that's what this is.
Okay. I probably overshot a little bit because I counted like morning time and stuff like not sleeping, but like when you were getting ready and stuff. I said 8 hours a day. It's probably a little less than that because
it's quite less. So I spent a total of 24 and a half hours at the resort doing resort things.
Okay.
And average about 3.5 a day.
Okay.
To kind of give you an idea. So I also have some other park stats of when we started and finished our day, just to kind of give you an idea, and whether I count this as vacation in the vacation, right? So our first park day, this is the day after our check-in day, right? This is our first full day in the resort. We rope dropped and we closed the parks that night with the kids. And I called it a vacation in the vacation day, right? So we were basically open to closed, but we spent a good 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day swimming and going to Whispering Canyon Cafe and kind of hanging out. So we weren't in a rush. The second day was our 4 parks in one day. That's 7:30 to close. That is not a vacation in vacation day at all, but we had a lot of fun. Our third day there, we rope dropped Epcot, and me and the kids closed. We closed Epcot. We saw Luminous, so we were there from open to close. I call this a vacation in vacation because we went into Epcot. All we did was go into rope drop Remy, and then we brought coffee back to the room, right? That's all we did. And then we went to Topolino's for dinner that night. So overall, I think we spent 5 hours in the parks that day, just to kind of give you an idea. I call that a vacation in vacation because we were all over the place having a good time. Our fourth day, we rope dropped, and then we left the parks at 7. We did some night swimming and stuff like that. It's definitely a vacation day. The next day, we had Ohana breakfast, but we closed the parks that evening. But I do call that a vacation day because basically the whole first half of the day was kind of sleeping late and eating breakfast. Our last day there was we closed Magic Kingdom. We were there very late. We got back to the rooms around midnight. That is definitely not a vacation day. And our last 2 days there, we went from 10 to 5 and 1 to close. Both days were vacation days. So by my tally here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days out of the 8 that I counted for vacation days. I don't know. Once we go through, Phil, I'll ask you at the end of the day as I go through my itinerary whether or not you agree with my vacation sentiment. You'll be the ultimate judge of that. But that's generally how it went by. Now, we did split up a lot in our.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing.
Right?
That wasn't on your list, but that's good to ask. Because I know that's something you talked about now that the kids are getting older and stuff, like maybe splitting up some.
So we basically, the splitting up was the kids stayed with me. We ran around, did rides where my mom and my wife went back to the room to like relax. So that was that for the most part. So we didn't do too much splitting up, but I'll get into more details as we kind of go along. So we're at the 1 hour mark, Phil. If you like, we can keep on going, and maybe if it goes too long, we can split this up and be like episodes 1A and 1B, or do you want to save this for a future time, Phil?
Why don't we keep going for a little bit and see where we get to? Just because I know there's other stuff coming up in future weeks. So let's get started on it. Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so you have all of my hot takes then for the day, or my takes. Like we talked about the weather; it's super hot. We went to the water parks for the first check-in day. Crowds seemed high, but they were low. We were rocking our achievements. We had Lightning multi-pass for 2 days coming in. We had park hoppers. We had to go pick up the scooter the first day that we were in there. We had the dining plan. So we weren't going to use a sit-down credit for our first day and our last park day because we were going to do Cinnamon Reservoir Table and Topolino's with the 2 credits each. And Epcot was basically Diet Epcot at that point. So that being said, let's move on. For our first day, we were there. Again, we stayed at like a random, I think it was a Wyndham somewhere. It was like $110 a night. Very light, nice room. It had like bunk beds and 2 queen beds. It was actually quite nice. $110. We got down there once I drove for 18 hours. We got down there and we went to the Gross Publix. We got some subs and some waters and some other miscellaneous things for our trip. That being said, we woke up at about 6:45. We got in the car, went over to Art of Animation. It was kind of sad, Phil, that it was just me and my mom going through the arches to go in and walk into property, whatever. But we had to get the scooter by 7:30, right? So they didn't have any. It was either getting the scooter at 7:30 or getting it at 5:00 at night. So we're like, let's get it done in the morning, so we don't have to interrupt whatever we were doing. So we got the scooter, got it at 7, and then our room wasn't ready. And the last couple times, I've been on property with you, my daughter. Our last family trip, we got there early, but like our room was ready by 9:00. So I was like, okay, I'm going to wait till like 8:30. I didn't get a message about our room being ready. So, okay, I'll get the family. So I drove back my mom stayed on property. I drove back to the resort, packed the car, got all the kids and the wife. We got over to Art of Animation, and we get there around 10:00. So now I've been up for about like 3-ish hours at this point, right? So at about 10:45, we get on the bus for Blizzard Beach. Now, there's a lot of grumpiness going on, Phil, because my wife does not like having things open-ended, right? Like, she needs like things to be set. She likes to be in the room, ready to go, and then like have everything where it needs to be. But this was pure chaos. Like we had some of our bags being sent to being held for our room. We had other ones. Everybody had kind of bathing suits, no place to get changed. It was kind of like, it was not a disaster, Phil, but it was like everybody's like, I'm like, it's chaos. Let's go. Let's just ride with it, right? Yeah. But my wife doesn't like that. So anyway, we get on the bus for Blizzard Beach around 11. We get there. We do the lazy river just twice. And at that point, we're kind of hungry. Let's get some lunch. Now, I'm actually not feeling good the first leg of the thing. If you remember when we were down, like my allergies were bothering me when I was at Hollywood Studios. I had some like nasal thing going on. So take medicine for it, went away, get some lunch, and we're like, you know what, let's get back to the resort. Because as we were on the bus at like 10:30 to get to Blizzard Beach, our room was ready.
Oh, of course.
Of course, right? So anyway, we go back, we grab some food at Blizzard Beach, and then we head back. So we get everything situated, and let's see, we get to the room around 3:00. Let's see, we went back to the resort around 1:15. We got our room all set up, and then one of the achievements was to explore the resort and take pictures at Art of Animation.
And just a reminder to people, you're staying at Art of Animation in
yes,
a family room suite, right?
Thank you. For some reason, I'm not mentioning that. So,
Well, you've mentioned it in other shows, so I'm sure
but not
people
today.
have-
After
not
an
today.
hour of us being here, yeah. So we're staying at Automation at the Cars family suite. So we get into the room. Let's do it this way. We get to the room. I've only seen these on videos, right? So we go in. So you walk in immediately. There's a bathroom to your right. There's a table with the Murphy beds drop down in your left. There's a little vacation in the kitchenette area, and then a closed door queen bed with a bathroom in there. Phil, for any family 4 or higher, if you can pay the money, that's because it's typically anywhere between like $450 and $600 a night there. If you can afford it, this is a fantastic suite to stay in. Like, you have plenty of space. The kids can watch TV. You can go in your room. If you're traveling with 6 people, it never felt crowded and cramped or anything else. Like, it's not like a fifth sleeper where everybody's like on top of each other.
Yeah.
We had room for like our putting away all of our clothes. Our luggage didn't get in the way.
And there's 2 bathrooms, right?
2 bathrooms,
Yeah,
which is
that's
massive. Do you have a bigger fridge than the small, tiny fridge that you get? So we were able to fit like 30 bottles of water in there and leftovers and everything else like that. There's like a microwave with shelving. So we put like all of our like medicine and breakfast bars and everything else that we have on the top there out of the way. Underneath the TV, it's where we had our Magic Bands charge. It was just, the utilization of the space was absolutely fantastic. And I wish a lot more Disney resorts.
That was going to be my
utilize a space
comment.
like
I
that.
wish there were more options like this, where just more options in different places. But I feel like if there were more of them, you could find them more often for like $350 a night or something like that.
Yes.
Because a lot of times when they're like pushing 5, it's like, that's a lot, versus like you can get into like 1 bedrooms at Animal Kingdom if you rent DVC points for like the same, it's like, it just makes it a little pricey to pay for out of value, but
especially when
the layout's great. Yeah.
Especially when we came from like $120 a night room where he had 2 bunk beds in the wall with 2 queen beds. I'm like, can't Disney do this for like double the price? Like, I'll pay $300 a night.
Right, but why does it have to be like 4 times?
Yeah, exactly. So the room was absolutely fantastic. I used touring plans to do a room, figure out a room. And if you could kind of imagine Art of Animation, then if you think of it, the dead center, where the compass points north is the Skyliner place. And then a straight line down is where the lobby is.
Yep. In
between those 2 things is the big blue pool.
Yep.
Right. Either side of the big blue pool, there is a line of, 4-story, 5-story hotel rooms, kind of like clamshell around it. And then outside of those is where to the right is the Cars area, to the left is the Lion King area, and then the Mermaid area all the way down. Never stay in the Mermaid area, Phil. It is super far away from everything. Doesn't matter how much your daughter loves Ariel. Do not stay there. Your feet will hurt by the time you get on the bus, because the bus stop is only at the lobby in this
right
in this property. Right, you have to walk there for everything. That being said, to the right of the Nemo area, behind the building, was the Cars area. We stayed in building 3. All these buildings are shaped basically like T's. Right, there's a central entry door, and then there's even size wings going to left, right, and straight. Right, so you can think of like a plus sign without one of the legs attached to it. We requested the first floor near the entrance. We didn't get that. We got the first floor at the very back end of the T. Back of the there's a door on each of the end of the legs of the wings, and it turned out to be the best room possible. Right?
Oh wow!
Because we get out of you go out, you step out of the door into the hallway, you make a left. Immediately, there's a door to go outside, and immediately out there is basically a 150-yard, 200-yard walk, maybe a little bit longer, to the Skyliner thing. So it's like, boom, you're right there. And then if we wanted to go get drinks, like refillable mugs, or go to the pool, it was another 2-minute walk to the pool. We were like super close. It's like you couldn't ask for anything a better position. Like, we didn't have to go up downstairs. We didn't have to go to the elevator, everything else.
Well, first of all, especially with the having the scooter is key.
Yep. So that was absolutely fantastic. So anyway, we got the room set up, and then we're like, okay, well, let's go explore the resort a little bit, because there was a thunderstorm, right? That's why we left Blizzard Beach. And so we went and walked the whole property, got pictures at all the characters. That was one of our achievements. We got that done. And then, my daughter is like me. She's like, we're wasting time. We need to get in the parks. Because the vacation hasn't touched her yet. She's now, I think I've, created a monster here, Phil. But very nervous about getting Typhoon Lagoon. We get back to the room about 4:15. We get changed and get ready to go. We get to Typhoon Lagoon at 5:20. So because you have to transfer to get there at Disney Springs, which is a pain in the keister, it took about 40 minutes to get there. Just to give you an idea of how long it takes. And then we're there. Basically, all we did was we went in there. We went into because there was an H2O Glow event that night. So I think the place closed at 7. We went to the tidal pool, and my goodness, the wave pool at Typhoon Lagoon is absolutely fantastic, Phil. If that's something that you guys like, swimming and waves and all this other stuff, it's better than any other kind of local place that you might go to. It's great. We stayed there for all the little waves, and then of course every like half hour or so they send the big tidal waves through. My kids love that. Scared the heck out of me with my 3 kids. Like, you've never been in the ocean before with big waves. How are they going to take it?
Yeah.
They all did well. Then we did a couple. There was very low weights.
I get more worried about like the waves tossing somebody else around and they like land on me or something like that. Like
I was also worried about that too, because my kids are fantastic swimmers, but they're not fantastic swimmers if somebody's knee goes into their head.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and not that people are doing things on purpose. It's just things happen when there's that many people with waves and stuff.
So we go on a couple tube rides. Like my oldest daughter's like, I want to try this. So we do a couple tube rides. It was like 2 of them were walk-ons. One was like a 5-minute wait, so it was perfect. And then basically we got back. So we arrived at Typhoon Lagoon at 5:20. We were on the bus to Disney Springs at 7:20, so we were roughly there for 2 hours. And then we didn't get back to our room until about 7:50 or so. Now,
okay.
I am the videographer, so I'm taking video. We take no video at the water park because I'm not videotaping people in their bathing suits. It's a little creepy. So I stopped doing that. However, we went back to Art of Animation. We had dinner, so I was able to kind of do the whole dinner and beer type of thing, which is absolutely fantastic the first night there. Now, the one thing that confused me is you could do mobile ordering at was it Landscape of Flavors, I think it's called.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to do it because you could walk in there and have the order ready to go, but like, do I have to pick up the bag and then pay for it? Is it already paid for because it's using my credits? Do I have to go do this? And then like I wanted to get, for example, my daughter wanted one of those 12-inch hot dogs, but without chili and cheese. There's no option to remove the chili and cheese in the app, but when you go there, you can ask for it without the chili and cheese, and it's just like a thing that they write down. It's done. So like any kind of modifications, you have to go there and do. So I was doing that. We got back, kids ate, we went to bed because our next day was our full park day, and we were rope dropping and ready to go. So that was our day 1. Again, water parks, absolutely fantastic. Great use for the day. The kids were never bored. We didn't have waste time on like after me driving 2 days ago. I was recuperating. We had some fun. It was very easy going, and we're not struggling or waiting for like going somewhere for a reservation. So 8:00 in the morning, we were at the bus stop the next day. This is our first full park day. And there was a guy out there handing out pins. Like everybody got like a placard with like 2 pins on him, like the 25th anniversary of pin type things like that.
Oh, okay. Pin trading.
So like basically it's diabolical because now the kids have pins and they want to trade them because pin traders are all over the place. So we did not buy a single pin. I was very proud of it, but my son did trade his pins for ones that he liked. So he kind of got a taste of it. That was good. Anyway, we were at the bus stop at 8:00. We got off the bus at 8:21 at the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
I was very proud of my family getting there right before rope drop. It was by around 8:35. We were taking castle pictures, so we were not really worried about like trudging back there and doing
getting
things,
to
right?
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or anything like that. Yeah. Okay.
But that's what we did anyway, right?
Oh, okay.
So we went on my train at 8:41.
And that was a 9:00 park opening, so
yes.
8:30 early entry started.
Yep, exactly. So
you weren't at the front of early entry, but you still opted to do Mine Train.
Yes, because we were walking back there, we decided to do it. I'm like, okay, why not, right? The line was wrapped all the way around, halfway towards Dumbo Circus, but the line was moving quickly, and we had a 20-minute delay because of a ride shutdown. We managed to get off Mine Train an hour later, fully off and out. So 1 hour with a 20-minute delay in between.
Yep. Good
use of, I think, of rope drop time, getting there late and kind of just doing. Everybody wanted to do it, so we did that.
Yep.
One of our achievements was using our magic bands to activate all the golden statues. We did complete that achievement, so we were kind of running around doing those type of things, keeping track of that. Kids really liked chasing after them and doing them, and because they're older, they can go run 30 yards away and kind of do it and come back, that type of thing. So that was really good. One of our other achievements that we did not complete was we wanted to have tater tots at 5 different restaurants. Our first one was at Friar Nook, so we got those. And I got a coffee there. I like the Shaken Jamaican. It was absolutely terrible from Friar Nook's. Do not get a specialty coffee from there. I think it's like It was not good. They did something to it. It just tasted
Yeah,
terrible.
because normally the good chicken Jamaicans are from Joffrey's. You have to go to those.
Right.
Like this end,
So
yeah.
it was Joffrey branded, right?
Oh,
Whatever.
huh.
But I don't know what it was. It was awful. It was awful. Terrible. So we got that. Then as we're going by, we had another thing to meet, like characters we never met. We met Shmi and Captain Hook. They were just walking through the park. Now, I know it used to be this way. There are characters all over the place, everywhere across all these parks. Like they did a fantastic job bringing characters out, and the kids absolutely love that. So we met Shmi and Captain Hook. Then let's see, what did we do? We were going to say, okay, we need to use the restroom. So we went to Rapunzel's bathrooms, and outside of Rapunzel's bathrooms, there was Flynn Rider and Rapunzel, like playing with kids, like, you know, in front of the bathroom, but like playing with kids. Like they all had there was like 6 kids. They all had like a little circle, and they were kind of like, you know, going around in a circle, holding hands and stuff like that. Oh, that was amazing. So we got to watch that. I mean, my kids didn't get to partake because there was young kids. They were late.
I hope that sticks around, because my understanding is a lot
Yes.
of this additional character stuff, especially early morning, is part of Cool Kid Summer. Everything I'm hearing is feedback on this is really positive, and management knows it. Whether that just means something similar will come back next summer, or hopefully they recognize, like, hey, people like characters.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, let's keep it going, even if it's maybe not quite to this extent, but more than Tip was in the past.
There's another character interaction I had personally with Goofy later on in the thing, so make sure I bring that up. Okay, so we went to the bathroom. We got online for Pirates. We got off the Pirates. We just kind of did People Mover. Again, we didn't have any multi-passes this day. We're just kind of floating around. We did the People Mover. We went around, and my daughter her favorite character now is Stitch. So she went and danced with Stitch in the stage area in Tomorrowland.
Yep.
They did a whole thing. She was there for like literally 30 seconds, kind of danced around, and then she's like, all right, I'm done. Let's go.
I did it. I had the thing I wanted to do.
So from there, we left Magic Kingdom to go over to the Whispering Canyon Cafe for lunch. That was our first lunch, or brunch, actually, because we had I think a 10:40. No, we had a 12:15 reservation.
Okay.
So we had to wait a while. So here's another thing about the scooter. Not every ferry can take scooters. It's every other one. So we were waiting for a good solid 20 minutes. We got just in time in for our reservation, though they were behind 15 minutes, so it didn't really make a difference. So we were all good. Again, love Wilderness Lodge. It's one of my favorite resorts, but I'm kind of souring on Wilderness Lodge just because the lobby is as lovely as it is. It gets crowded for everybody being there.
Yeah.
And I don't like crowded resorts. If I'm going to be at a resort, I want it to kind of be.
And there's a lot
chill.
going on there with the Whispering Canyon's kind of like right there and stuff.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like it could get loud for sure.
It's the same thing at like the Polynesian. Like everybody's there for a whole bunch of different things. And if I'm going to pay that much money to stay there, I kind of want it to be more resorty rather than touristy, right? Anyway, we went in there. I've never been to Whispering Canyon Cafe. First time I've been there. Almost all of our meals were at places that we've never been before. The food was absolutely fantastic. Our server gave my son like a sheriff's badge for his, like, because he had an over the shoulder like kind of bag type of thing. He wore that his whole vacation.
Nice.
It was kind of cool. He ate, I don't know how many. He ate like 6 waffles, a pound of eggs, and saw, like, I've never seen this kid eat so much in my life. So he definitely got his money's worth on that. And it was just wonderful. It was a wonderful lunch. I highly recommend it. I did. My mother and my son had the breakfast skillet. I had the carnivore skillet, or the meat skillet, where it's just basically like ribs, brisket, potato, a bunch of different, like barbecue type stuff. My wife had a very large waffle with like a fruit, like I think it was like a raspberry compote or something else like that. She loved the waffle. It was one of her favorite meals of the whole trip. And everybody had a good time. I had an adult beverage. We had a mimosa. That was really nice. I always made sure I got my alcoholic beverage to whatever. And the kids always got their specialty drinks that came along with it also. So we made good use of that. Highly recommend Whispering Canyon Cafe. They got the whole ketchup thing and everything else. For those that don't know, if you need ketchup, your server then calls for ketchup. And the last table that called for ketchup has 15 ketchup bottles. So they have to bring them to your table. So my kids partaked in that twice. So that was that. So that was a lot of fun. So after that, we went on the ferry. We went. We took the bus from Wilderness Lodge to Hollywood Studios, and then we did Skyliner back to our resort at Honor Animation. And we got there at like 2:50, right? So we were at lunch for about 3 hours or so. And then at that point, we went to Hollywood Studios because we wanted to get on Tower of Terror, because it was my daughter's never been on Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster. So that was her thing at this point. So as we were getting there, it starts to rain a little bit. And I'm like, all right, everybody got their ponchos. I don't need my poncho. and then the fattest raindrops started falling down. I was soaked head to toe. And that stunk. But we were online for Tower of Terror. I never dried, but it wasn't uncomfortable after about 20 minutes, right? So it is what it is. So my daughter went on Tower of Terror for the first time. She was absolutely terrified. She wasn't going to do it. She was almost running away. It's like, no, you're going to do this. You did this 2 years ago. You're going to do it. You're not going to do it this time. She got on, and after it was done, she was like, this is my favorite ride ever. I'm like, see, I know. Like she loves Tower of Terror now, and she had a good time with that. We got real Joffrey's. We got some ice cream. And then at that point, my mother didn't come in with us. She was doing like laundry or something. She didn't want to come in. So she met us at around 6:30. So we were now in the park. And then we did Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is one of my mother's favorite rides. We did that. And then we went to go Fantasmic, and we left Fantasmic early because, like I said before, the
tech
fountain
issues. Yeah.
So we just went back. We just kind of like showered, got ready for bed. I didn't write when we got back to the resort, but if we left at 8:00 with some delays, and there was a after hours party there that night. Oh no, deluxe evening hours I think was that night. No, it was an after hours event, paid event that night. I think we got back maybe like a half hour later. So the kids were getting to bed and showered by like 9:00 or so. Because the next day was our 4 parks in one day. Now, I've done this before with my wife. It can be a nightmare. It's a long slog. It was a normal hot Florida day, not like the extreme heat yet. Yep. So I was very, very, very proud of my family. We woke up, everybody got ready, and we were we got off the bus at Animal Kingdom by 7:30, 7:27 to be exact, Phil. So we made it not early, but like just in time for rope drop. As we were walking in, Pocahontas was just kind of in that in-between area between the Tree of Life and the front of the park. Mm-hmm. And my kids wanted to go say hi. I said, hey, can we take some pictures? She's like, taking pictures is such a waste of time. Come follow me. And she just like took them for like 5 minutes and just looked at like different plants and talked about like was in character the whole time talking about like the forest and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So there's real engagement. It wasn't just like, hey, take a picture or whatever.
No, exactly.
Like, they took them on like a little type of thing. And I was watching a lot of other characters. We didn't do it with Alice in Wonderland, but Alice was walking through her garden, pointing flowers out to like other guests and stuff like that were kind of with her. I thought they've done a fantastic job. Kind of just like, you're not just a meet and greet. It's like, let's play with the people type of thing. That's just really, really cool. By 7:45, we were in the queue for Flight of Passage. It took us an hour from the moment that we got into the queue till we get out of the ride. We ate some breakfast. I always forget the name of it, but it's like the hole in the wall place right by the safari, right by.
Oh yeah.
I always forget what it's called. They have good coffee and good sandwiches there. We did that. We got off of Expedition Everest by a little after 10. We got on Kali River Rapids by 10:30. Off the safari by 11:30, and we were out of Animal Kingdom by 11:45 to 12. So we had like the whole morning at Animal Kingdom. We got a bunch of stuff done. We didn't go into the dinosaur area. We didn't do any of the shows, but we did almost like all the rides. So we went to Hollywood Studios. Again, I have lightning lanes for everything at this point. I don't think I didn't have one. I did not have one for Kali. So then I had Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. We had Docking Bay 7 for lunch. We did Falcon, Rock and Roller Coaster, and then we left. Now, my daughter's first time at Rock and Roller Coaster. So every single time I've brought my child for their first time at Rock and Roller Coaster, they were terrified. My bravest kid was my oldest daughter, Scarlett. She was afraid, but she got on, and she loved it. My son, a year later, was terrified, was screaming. I had to force him in, like basically like shove him in, like clawing him away from like the things. But he got on, and he loved it so much he went on it the second time we saw it. So my daughter, again, it was just me and her. The kids got on first. We were all together. The kids got on. She chickened out. I wasn't going to force her on Rock and Roller because it's an intense ride.
Yeah,
even though this is the last roller coaster on property, like she's done Tron, she's done Expedition Everest, she's done everything else. She's terrified of it. So we go to the exit and we have a talk. Like, well, I don't know the next time we're going to go on. Like next time you go on, it's not going to be Rock and Roller Coaster anymore. It's going to have Muppets. You're going to miss this version of it. I don't know. She's thinking about it. Like, okay, I'm going to do it. So the cast members allowed us to go on for like rider swap. I don't think they understood what we were doing, but they said, yeah, just go ahead. So we got on. And the moment you go upside down, like that first loop after the launch, she said, "This is the moment. I love the ride." So she went up and down. She's a daredevil, like, so I knew she was going to love it. And she's like, "This is my new favorite ride. I love it." But what about Terra Terra? That's my favorite too. Like all the things that she's scared of, it's her new favorite, right? So she's very happy and proud of herself that she kind of braved up and kind of did that. So we did that. We went back to the resort for briefly for like a half hour to kind of recollect ourselves, wash our faces, that sort of thing. We went over to Epcot. And we were on Spaceship Earth by a quarter after 5, off soaring by 6 o'clock, and then we were at St. Angel Inn for dinner around 6:30. Right, so that's why we went to Epcot. Next, St. Angel Inn. Not really impressed with the restaurant. Loved eating in there. The food was good, but it wasn't like I had like the ossobuco. It was like it was okay, but I'm not paying these prices for this food ever again, type of thing. So like I could get it at a local, Mexican restaurant here. It was that's basically the level that you're at this point. So probably won't ever go back there again because we could go to the quick service and it's like the same food essentially. But I did get a $50 ossobuco, so I did get my money's worth. It was good, but like I don't eat this.
I think that's a place that's more like we've been there a couple times, and I know my wife did it with the kids, and it worked out well though because they like split a few things and like like you could kind of make it work if not everyone's getting full meals, because then it works out a little cheaper and you're still getting the experience and the ambiance and stuff like that. So I think there's ways to make it work, but it's definitely not like the best value if everyone's going there for full meals and stuff.
I would definitely be angry if I didn't have the dining plan going here.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right
and
now.
your like $400 bill came or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So we were done with dinner a little bit before 8. We got to the Magic Kingdom at 8:30. Perfect time to line up for the parade, like I mentioned earlier. So we sat down right in the front of the park. We watched.
So you got there you got to your spot at about 8:30. You said
we arrived at Magic Kingdom at 8:25.
Okay.
So we walked in and like just immediately found a spot. Right?
Okay.
And there's plenty of space, everything else like that.
Because that's my thing because we're going down this week and I'm willing to wait a little bit, like a half hour, 40 minutes, but I don't want to wait like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
People were lining up super early for this thing, but there's plenty of room.
Yeah. So I think I'm just going to wait till like that 30, 40 minute wait and find a spot somewhere. We'll find a decent spot and just go with it.
Yeah. I think it'd be perfectly fine to do that. Because the parade route is long, right? There's plenty of people stretched out for the whole thing. So once the parade was over, the wife and my mother went back to the resort. They retired for 4 parks in one day. They made the achievement, but like we need to go on rides, right? So I wanted to see Happily Ever After. So we got over to Main Street. Main Street was like empty, right? It was like a party, how Main Street is during a party. Like you could go twirling around Main Street and not hit anybody. So it had a perfect spot to watch it with all the projections. And of course.
And so you were on Main Street, but like everybody, I'm assuming the hub though was
by the bakery, essentially.
By the bakery. Okay.
Right around there, like midway through.
Yeah.
Then of course my daughter had to use the restroom, obviously, and we went to Tomorrowland Terrace, and then we couldn't get back to Main Street. So we ended up watching Happily Ever After on the side of the castle, basically directly under where Tinkerbell flies.
Okay.
Which was kind of an interesting like angle I've never watched before, so that was pretty fun. We kind of did that, and then we kind of blitzed Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, and we were back at the resort by 11:30.
Cool.
So full day, closed the park. So that was our third day. Fourth day. Okay. So one of our achievements that my mom and I wanted to do was just like, let's wake up early, go over to Epcot, Skyliner over there, go on Remy, that's her favorite ride, and just head back. We'll have some breakfast. Everybody else can sleep in and do whatever. So I wake up at like 7, and I heard my mother getting ready. So I'm coming out, and then all 3 of my children are dressed up and ready to go with us. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the 5 of us go out. We do Remy. We get some donuts and some coffee afterwards. And so we did Remy. Remy had a delayed opening. So we got off of Remy around 9 o'clock. And we were there. We were walking into France at 8, just to put it that way.
Okay.
Right. So it was a long delay. Kind of didn't screw up the morning, but I wanted to be like, if we timed it right, we could get on at Remy at like 8:20, 8:25. And if you're one of the first people, you're basically out of that by like everybody was still lining up, basically. Right. That didn't happen because there was a delay. But anyway, we got off of Remy, headed back. We were off the Skyliner about 9:45, and we just had pool. We had lunch time and that type of thing. Then 1:30, my son and I'm like, all right, we have to go build a lightsaber like we were talking about before. So we went and did that. We saw the BDX droids, which were really cool afterwards. Like we got done with Savi's, and I was like, all right, I looked up BDX, like maybe we could stick around a little longer to watch them. And it was like 10 minutes later, like that's when they were showing up. So Chewie came out. We did all that stuff. My son has a memory of stormtroopers going through Galaxy's Edge, one of our last trips, and a guy like screaming as he saw a stormtrooper, and the stormtrooper like saying like, "Hey, relax, buddy," or something else like that to him. That's one of his memories that's in his head. So we were taking pictures of with his lightsaber in front of the Millennium Falcon, and he had it going, and he was kind of buzzing around, and stormtroopers were walking by. And the stormtrooper turned to him and said, like, settle down there or something else like that. And he's like, this is the best moment of my life. Like, so we have that all on tape, whatever. So that was really cool. And then Chewie came out and he's kind of looks like he's working on the Falcon type of thing. And then the BDX droids come out and they go into, the partitioned off area underneath the Falcon.
Yeah.
So the BDX droids like walked on their own all the way into there. And then they were just left to work. Now, they would spread out, they would look at people, and if people were like jumped up, the BDX droids would jump up, and if somebody would like kind of did like a little shake of their butt type of dance, the BDX droids would do that, and they would move around and chirp and all this stuff. They're really cool, Phil. I mean, like, it's not an amazing show because it's just little things walking around, but the fact that they're doing this autonomously is really neat. Like, as a tech nerd like me, like I thought it was really
that's really cool,
well
and that's
done.
the type of thing Galaxy's Edge needs.
Oh, absolutely. So it was a perfect fit. We walked over to Walt Disney Presents to kind of walk through that. They had the Elio film playing, so we didn't bother watching that. We left back to the Skyliner. So we're back to the resort at 4:00. Then around 5, we hopped on the Skyliner to Riviera, went to Topolino's. And then after Topolino's, we just went to Epcot. I wanted to start ticking off attractions, so I brought the kids into Reflections of China, which really didn't make a difference because we never saw any other ones. Anyway, we watched Luminous, and then we were back at the room by 10:30. Now, Topolino's, we did it for dinner. Always wanted to do it for breakfast, but my mom always said there's not really value there for breakfast. So dinner is a signature dining, 2 dining credits. We're using one of our credits from the first night that we're there for this one. I think everybody, all the meat eaters on the table got the filet, which is like a $60-something meal. Dessert, I had one of their old fashions prior to the meal and a glass of wine with my meal. This restaurant is absolutely fantastic at night. If somebody wants like a really good cuisine, it's fantastic. So
yeah. Did you have any a chance to go outside on the balcony and that sort of thing?
I did. I wanted to get like a drink, go out on the balcony.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. We did that, and there's like the bar outside and stuff, which was nice.
Our table was like basically we got there half hour early, and our table was ready like that.
Oh, okay.
Like we sat a half hour early, so like okay, let's go. But I walked out there; it was absolutely hot and horrific.
That's true.
There.
That's true. When I went, it wasn't like heat advisory hot. So.
And again, this wasn't a heat advisory day. This was at like 6:30 at night, actually, I went out there. I didn't go out before dinner. My family did. I went out maybe around 7, 7 o'clock, and it was just oppressively hot. Like I like Disney when it gets dark at 6 in the winter, not like at 9 o'clock during the summer. Mm-hmm. But the food was absolutely great. I don't think it has a very good menu for vegetarians. My wife had some vegetable pasta dish that she wasn't really happy with. But if you eat meat, it has some really great options. Dessert was fantastic. Service was absolutely phenomenal. We had a really great time. We had a good seat by the window. It was really cool. So I would recommend.
I remember when we went, we liked our appetizers more than the entrees. I remember there were a lot of things with cheese in them, and we liked all the things with cheese. So
yeah, we got like a gnocchi dish, which I got from my wife, but then realized there was like sausage or bacon in it or something else like that. It's like, oops. But then there was like a ricotta dish.
Yes. Yeah.
With like tomato. That was absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to take that away. It's like, no. I'm gonna dip all my food in this right now. It was great. So yeah, totally recommend Topolino's for dinner if that fits in your budget. It is very expensive, but I think.
But it is a place where, again, not when you're on the dining plan, but if you go alone, you could like get 3 or 4 appetizers and then split a couple entrees. Like,
yes,
it's another one you can make work for like not the $800 bill or whatever it would be if everybody orders.
And the place wasn't busy at all, so which doesn't surprise me. But I think it was like a $500 meal or something else like that when I saw the bill. So it is for 6 people. It was very pricey. Anyway, we went, like I said, we went to the Sky. We watched Luminous, and then we went home by 10:30. So it was again another long day for me.
Everybody had seen Luminous before this, right? I was just wondering what people's thoughts were.
No, my mother hasn't seen it.
Okay.
But all the kids have.
Okay.
My mom loved it.
Okay.
Okay, so far we've gone 3 park days, Phil. We've had the day with Whispering Canyon, the 4 parks in one day, and now the Topolino's day. Other than the 4 park days, I labeled the other 2 ones vacation and a vacation. Would you say that it was a vacation and vacation day?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely the one where like you guys went back and then just you and your son went over to Hollywood Studios and stuff. I
That was
mean,
day
that's
3, yep.
definitely that's definitely a vacation, the vacation where people are kind of picking and choosing what they're going to and stuff. So I think that's fair.
Okay,
Like obviously
so-
not the whole day, there's going to be moments where maybe you could have been a little bit more vacation-y, but overall I think they were not pushing it.
Okay, so I labeled them correctly. I'm proud of
Yeah.
myself now. So the next day at night, we decided that one of our achievements was my wife and I to have a date night, and I knew that wasn't going to happen, so we had a date morning. So again, we've closed the parks 3 days in a row. My kids are tired; they need to sleep. So Cindy had slept in that day because my wife Cindy, remember I went in with 3 kids and my mother to go see Remy.
Right.
My wife slept in. So this day she's all refreshed. And of course I'm a crazy person. So we rope drop Animal Kingdom. We are off the bus at Magic Kingdom at 7:45. So we got there like super, like no one was allowed in the park yet. We got there
Wow.
so early. So I'm proud of my wife for doing that. She really loves Magic Kingdom in like the first couple hours that the park is open. I do too. So we get in there, and again, this is where I bought Lightning Lane Multipass the night before, and we got Space Mountain and 2 other tier 2 attractions that were irrelevant essentially. So we rope drop. Let's see, we got on. This is where I totally realized that they don't stop you at like the rope anymore. Like you just go into the attraction. I had no idea for some reason. I still thought that they did the rope drop because that's what they did last November. So from November till now, they changed something. I guess it was like 4 or 5 months ago that they
Yeah, I
changed
think it was
it.
March or May or something like that. Yep.
That totally slipped my mind. So anyway, we line up for Pan. Of course, my wife said, I need to use the restroom before we get on. It was like 8:20. I'm like, okay, I guess you have 10 minutes. But of course she leaves and they're like, oh, we're opening everything early, 10 minutes early. All right. So anyway, get on Pan. We did Pan, Pooh. We got on Mine Train because the line was really short. We were on and off that in 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
We did Dumbo, and then we went on the railroad backwards from Fantasyland to Main Street.
Okay.
Then
I did actually want to ask you. I wanted to check. That's the way it goes backwards. It goes from Fantasyland to Main Street backwards.
I'm trying to think now. No, it goes. We rode it backwards, but the train was going.
Oh, okay.
forwards.
So your seat was facing backwards,
Right? Because I knew I wasn't getting on the train again, so I was like, I'm going to ride this backwards just because all the seats are permanently forwards or backwards, right? They don't switch. So we rode it backwards, but the train was going.
Gotcha.
Okay.
At that point.
But we saw it arrive backwards, which was really kind of weird. So you got that. So anyway, we got to Main Street. We got some breakfast and coffee at Starbucks. We sat at Casey Junior's and just kind of relaxed, ate our meal, hung out. And then we decided let's go do Mickey's PhilharMagic. And then my mother called that they were coming in, so it's like, okay, let's skip this and go meet the kids. We should have done Mickey's PhilharMagic at that point because we had been off by the time they got there. But anyway. At this point, we did this whole morning. Again, we've done Pan, Pooh, Mine Train, Dumbo, the Railroad. Probably could have done Mickey's PhilharMagic, and we had not used a single Lightning Lane yet, and it's now 11 o'clock. So we got on Space Mountain with the whole family: Space Mountain, Astro Orbiter, Carousel of Progress, Buzz Lightyear, and then the Speedway. And then we're doing lunch at Cosmic Rays at like 1:20.
Wow.
So all Lightning Lanes at that point. Then after lunch, we do Barnstormer, Small World, and then we're back to the resort at 3:30.
Okay.
So we kind of did a little bit of a blitz. We go to the pool, we have some laundry, and then about 5:15, we really didn't want to go anywhere because this is now oppressive heat day, right?
Yeah.
But we had it lightning,
and that was a busy day. I was going to say that so far to that point, wasn't feeling very vacation-y in the vacation. Like that was
while I was on Small World, I had fiddle-faddled a Haunted Mansion Lightning Lane, and like, let's go, and everybody's like, no. So I'm like, all right, we'll go. We wanted to call it quits for the day at this point, but we had a single pass for Guardians. This was the only time we were able to go on Guardians. So we go to Epcot, get on Guardians, then Mission Space, and then we got back to the resort by like 7:30 or so. We kind of went to the pool. The kids swam until 11 o'clock that night, so we had a whole night of like just night swimming and having a good time. And Guardians was Guardians. Everybody still loves Guardians. Let's see, who did this? My youngest, my 7-year-old, my wife and I did green, and Sawyer and Scarlett, my two oldest, they did orange.
Okay.
I thought green was pretty lame. Like, I never have to do this ever again. This was kind of a terrible ride. The kids said orange was okay. It was kind of lame and whatever. You just felt like pushing back in the seat a little bit because they're the ones that go on like that UFO ride at like amusement fairs or whatever. So I'm like, I can't do spin. It just messes with my head. So they did that. We went back and that was it. So that was kind of like a late. I called this a vacation to vacation because we were done early, ate dinner at the resort for like a bunch of hours and kind of sat around and kind of relax and talk about our day, which I think is important in some of these vacations.
Yep.
All right,
that felt like a half and half day. That felt like the first half of the day was not vacation in the vacation, and then you made up for it in the second half. Like,
well, somebody's having a vacation to vacation. Maybe not me, but
that's true. The kids slept in.
The kids and my mother slept in. I did not, and then we all kind of hung out by the pool at the end of the day. So we were not like crowding in the park or scrambling or anything else like that. So day 6, day 5th park day. We had an Ohana breakfast reservation, and I don't think I need to talk about Ohana. Everybody knows Ohana. It's our first time going there. It was absolutely fantastic. It was one of our favorite meals. It's my mother didn't realize you could see the castle from the windows there, and the meal was absolutely delicious. Standard Disney breakfast fare, but we had an alcoholic beverage, and we were able to sit there with coffee, meet all the characters. The service was absolutely fantastic. What I really liked about it, how intimate that restaurant is. It's not a big cafeteria. It's not loud. It's really nice in there. So we really enjoyed it. It's a place that we'll go again, I think. Again, oppressive heat at this point. So after Ohana, we head over to the Grand Floridian. We had to pick up some presents for some people. My wife's sister-in-law, she likes the soaps from that local soap shop upstairs. So we went to the Grand Floridian, did some shopping, and then we just went into the Magic Kingdom. And all we did was we ran up and down the treehouse, did the tiki room, and then we were back at the resort by 2:45.
Wow.
So we left the room at 10, and we were back in the room by 2, essentially. So 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours in and out. We swim, we have some ice cream at the resort, and then around 5:30, we wanted to do I wanted to pick up some of the big rides at Hollywood Studios and kind of get that done. So we left our Hollywood Studios, got there right around 6:00. We did Star Tours, which was like a big win for my whole family. They've been on it before, but all my kids were like, can we go on Star Tours again and again and again and again? So we went on like during the vacation, we went on another time because the kids were demanding it. Because I think it's a 5-minute wait. You can get on. It's fun. So that was really cool. So we did Star Tours. We did Standby for Slinky Dog, and that was just over an hour from the moment we stepped in till we exited. That was awful, but I was not getting a lightning lane for that whatsoever. Yeah. So we was like, all right, let's just do it. We did Alien Swirling Saucers, and then we did Rise, right? So my wife and my mother went back to the resort. This was 8:26, and it was labeled a 95-minute wait when we lined up. We didn't get off until 9:51. So that's just about 2 hours on the ride. There was about a 20-minute delay while we were in line somewhere in the middle.
You said 8:26 you got in line, and then you're off before 10. So that's like an hour and a half, an hour 40 minutes.
Yeah, hour and 40 minutes. Yes. So slightly over
the
wait time.
Yeah.
Right. But again, not too bad. Cindy, my mother went on Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway as they're heading out. We got back to the resort around 10:30. So we blitzed the end of the park. We did Slinky and Rise, kind of crossed those off. Because again, I'm still in my mind. I want to try to get all the rides at Disney World. These were the 2 hardest ones to get, essentially, for waiting in lines. So that was kind of like a, Ohana, heat in the Magic Kingdom, relax at the pool, go into Hollywood Studios. And we were the only ones left in the park. So we got some really cool pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon and all this other stuff. So that was really cool.
That day feels like one where you can really only do a day like that when you have an 8-day trip.
Yes.
Because if I'm doing my 4 or 5 day and we're doing Ohana or something, we're not doing a park that day, right? We're not wasting a park ticket. But because you had the 8-day tickets, we're going from 7 to 8 isn't that much, and you already had the park hopper paid for, you could do that, and it makes for a fun day where you can't do that if you're only doing a 4 or 5 day trip.
That was the only reason why we did the vacation this way, because we wanted to dip our experiences in each park and leave and not feel guilty that this is our one Hollywood Studios day. We've got to do everything.
Exactly.
That type of thing. So I'm again, if you've been remembering this whole now 1 hour and 38 minute podcast, the whole reasoning for everything was like, hey, we're gonna go and like do some experiences and leave. Do some experiences and leave. And like, we're not gonna be in the parks for 6 hours. The only time we were in the park for more than 5 hours or 6 hours was the Magic Kingdom day, the previous one. I went in early with my wife and the kids met up with us. We were there until like 3:30. The only other times we were in the parks for 6 hours was the next day when, Oh, by the way, before I go into day 5, would you call my Ohana day where we closed the park with Rise a vacation to vacation day?
Yeah, I mean, I think you
did.
blitzed it a little bit at the end, but the day was structured around having breaks and taking it easy and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
we didn't get into the park until 1 p.m. that day.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So day 5 or day 6. Well, I'm running loose on my days here. So okay. So our 6th day in the parks. Again, we had lightning lanes, multi-passes for this day. This is the day I had Test Track and a couple other ones lined up. So we arrived at Epcot at 8 o'clock, and we got off of Remy's at 9:30. So that was a really long wait.
Yeah.
But we wanted to get Remy one more time for my mother. We did Test Track. We were off Test Track by 10:30. We got on Frozen. It looked like they were limiting the lightning lanes for a lot of these attractions because when we got to the merge point, there was like nobody in the lightning lane lines. So I don't know if they just cleared it all and we didn't see it, but like I didn't see anybody walking through it at all too. So lightning lane availability might have been low for that day for whatever reason. Anyway, we got off of Frozen by 10:22. We got some school bread, which we've never had. I know people have said that they really liked it. I thought it was fine. I'm not itching to go back and get it again. No one else in my family liked it, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites. I think it's overhyped. I'm not a big coconut person. I think you kind of have to like coconut, I guess. I don't know, but
my mother's a big coconut person, and she didn't particularly care
know.
for it. I mean,
So
it wasn't like I need to eat this. She had a bite. So okay, it's fine, whatever. I don't need to eat anymore.
Yeah.
It's now 11:30, and we split. So my wife Cindy and Aurora, my youngest, they went on over to Figment. No, she took the 2 girls to go on a Figment. I took my son, and we did the 3 Caballeros. And then we were going to meet up somewhere by Journey of Water. So we were kind of bouncing all over the place. Journey of Water, like we were trying to wait. There was a line for Figment out the door, by the way, which flabbergasted me. So we went to Living with the Land. Like when we were talking about the heat and everything else.
I think what you're seeing though with that a little bit is the impact of tiering on lightning lanes.
Maybe, yeah.
You can only have one of the tier 1s, right? So like if everyone probably wanted Test Track, so maybe a little less demand for the morning for Frozen, but they have to use those tier 2, right? So I guess, all right, we'll get one for Figment or whatever. And like,
I think it was more the heat than anything else that day. Because again, Nemo was out the door. Everything was out the door on these things. In any case, we were kind of waiting around. We went to Living with the Land, like I mentioned earlier in the show, looking for water. My mother was drooping. We went to like the Cool Kids Summer segment, and then I saw like a line backed up for Journey of Water. But anyway, when we finally went there, we went through that. Wanted to show my mother that. The heat was so terrible, Phil, that we just wanted to skip right through it. Like there was no like lingering and playing, whatever. It was crowded. Little kids were running around, and good for them. But like kids wouldn't just move through, like where the water parts and you walk through it. Like there was kids running back and forth on that like for like 10 minutes. I'm like, we just wanted to like check it out and move, and it's just like everyone needs to keep moving through. So the heat was oppressive, and from there,
I like Journey of Water. That's not a good attraction in the middle of the day during the heat.
No, I thought we might be getting.
That's a really nice one at night to do. I think.
I think so too. So we got off, and we headed back, and then at 2:30 we got back to the resort for like an hour, and then I left with my 3 kids, and the lady stayed home right at the resort. And we went to Indiana Jones. I was going to do like blitz all the shows. Like I wanted to do Indiana Jones, Beauty and the Beast, and Frozen. So we did Indiana Jones at 2:50, and it was so hot. I'm like, I don't want to be outside anymore.
Especially to do Beauty and the Beast, which is uncovered and stuff. Like no way.
No, it was awful. So we went back to Art of Animation about 4, and then we kind of freshened up for an hour because that evening was Cinderella's Royal Table Night. So we went over to Magic Kingdom. And as soon as we arrived, it was torrential downpour and thunderstorms. And like literally like just sheets of water coming down, flooding everything. It lasted 20 minutes and then it was fine. But Sydney and my mom got caught at security. Me and my kids made a dash for underneath the railroad station, and we were kind of like separated for 20 minutes.
Oof.
And then they finally got to us. And then it cleared. So then we did Cinnamon Rose Royal Table. We were there at 6. We got done about 7:40. I will never go to Cinnamon Rose Royal Table ever again. It's quite lovely in there, but my kids absolutely do not care about princesses anymore.
Yeah.
Even my youngest, 7, she's like, whatever. Didn't really care. I'm like, if you can meet anybody, she's like, I want to meet Toothless. I'm like, wrong park, kiddo. But you could maybe another time. But she wants to meet superheroes and Spider-Man and like ghosts and like all the other kind of things. She's not a princess girl at all.
Yeah.
And my daughter was kind of going through the motions. My son was like, all right, I guess I got to take a picture. This is what we do. And I feel like I'm taking pictures. I'm like, this is now getting awkward at this point. So I'm like, we're not going to be doing that anymore. The food was fine, but you're not paying for the food. You're paying for being in the castle, meeting princesses, that sort of thing. So one thing that threw me off was all the dinners that we've had, they included 18% gratuity on all of our meals. Party 6s or more it's automatically included. At Cinnamon Royal Table, there was no gratuity added, and I gave her the card like I want to give a tip. She's like, no, it's already included in the dining
it's
plan.
in the prepaid. Yeah, because you have to prepay.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. And I went to go talk to a manager, so like, just to make sure I'm not like,
stiffing somebody.
I don't want to do that. So we ended up going, and everything was fine. We left, and at that point, we're like, okay, we need to get Tron out of the way tonight because there's only 2 more days in the parks after this. And so we after Cinnamon Royal Table, we went on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Haunted Mansion, and Jungle Cruise. So my mom, we all of us had like top 5 rides, and Tiana's and Jungle Cruise were the only ones left in some people's top 5s. We did Jungle Cruise the other night, but my mother didn't, and that was one of her top 5, so we did that. At that point, everybody was beat and tired. So Sydney and my mom left. I was then again left with the 3 kids, and we ran around the park. Again, you're not pulling me, dragging me, screaming to go into Magic Kingdom at night for a couple more hours. So we had some fun. We did Magic Carpets. We did Peter Pan. Again, these are all lightning lanes because we had lightning lanes all day, right? So everything was done with a lightning lane at this point. We did Carpets, Pan, Teacups, Space Mountain, and then Tron. So Tron took us about like an hour and 10 minutes to get all the way through it. I mean, the one thing that you have to think about is if you want to do Tron, we did it we got online during Happily Ever After. Okay. And we got out while the parade was just leaving the castle. I think the parade was delayed 20 minutes or something else like that. Then we got out. All the people that are going to go on Tron are skipping those parades to get on Tron. You're not saving time by going, like you're saving time on all the other rides,
but not Tron,
not Tron, because all the big people are going on Tron, right? They don't care about the parade or the fireworks, or they'll sacrifice it to go on Tron. Right. So we did that. We didn't get back to the resort until 12:15. I did not label this a vacation in the vacation day just because of how late we were. But again, we were out. We rope drop Epcot. It was like a full Epcot rope drop day. And I think we spent, 5 hours at Epcot that morning, and it was just we didn't get anything done. It just felt like a drain on our soul.
Well, you did all the big things because my initial comment was I think you said by 11:30 you had done Remy's, Frozen, and Test Track and had a snack. Like, I know that doesn't sound like a lot of.
We did the big 3.
You did the big 3. It's going to take time to do that. So
yep. And we only had the lightning lane for a Test Track. Yeah. And we rope dropped Remy, and that took forever, unfortunately. So we arrived at Epcot at 8:09. We didn't get off of Remy until 9:30. Yeah, because there's a line already lined up. And basically, what happened is we got to the Skyliner about 10 minutes too late, and there was already like 3 people in front of us in the handicap area to get lined up. So that's like a 5 for every person lined up. It's a 5-minute wait as the transition through. Essentially 5 minutes, right? So that kind of screwed us up. But anyway, we got to Epcot still at like 8:09. There was still, again, if you want to get on Remy in and out, you got to be there 7:45. Yeah. Just it doesn't matter how slow or busy it is. or how I was hoping that Guardians stole a bunch of people for Remy's, and it didn't. It doesn't. Or even Test Track.
Or Test Track now you think that might be. But Remy still seems to be the number 1 there.
Yep. So that was a very long day. We closed the park. That leads us to our 7th park day. And this was a really easy day. We did the rhinos. I've talked about the rhinos already. We just woke up. I had to push everybody out. I had to get everybody moving. So we got there around 10. Oh, my goodness, Phil. Even in Animal Kingdom at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's just drenched in sweat. So I was just running around Harambe Market, bringing water, filling water bottles up, getting coffee. Everybody was sitting under the shade. I was running around getting everybody food and everything else like that. It was not a pleasant day whatsoever. Got rhinos, very pleasant experience. That is literally 1 hour. They timed the whole thing. We started at 11. We're back it was over at 12, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, look, we need to get over to the boneyard. We need to do dinosaur. They are going. We will never see them again. Let's go experience them. We did that. And we did something stupid where we go all the way to dinosaur, and then we went all the way back to Yak and Yeti for lunch, right? So we crisscrossed the park. Only way we could do it. And then we did Yak and Yeti. And then after Yak and Yeti, we did Flight of Passage, and we were back at the resort by 5 o'clock, right? So we spent 6 hours in the park. This was a strong Animal Kingdom day.
Yep.
But it got too hot for any of the walking trails or anything else like that. We wanted to do the train. We've never did a Rafiki's Planet Watch. We couldn't get on that because we're just like, I just can't do this anymore. Yeah. However, Yak and Yeti, I know you went there one of your last trips.
Yeah, last August when I had the 2 kids with me, that we did like last minute type thing.
I love this restaurant. Like this, the best meal for the whole week my wife had, because she had some like pad thai noodle.
Oh, they definitely have a lot of vegetarian options there.
And I had the 7 Seas tuna or something, or whatever it was called. That was absolutely delicious. My daughter had like the tuna nachos. She didn't like them because she doesn't like the sweet sauce that's on them. But I thought they were absolutely phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It was a great meal. We absolutely enjoyed all of it. We were all getting cold because all of the cold sweat in our clothes was getting cold in the air conditioning. So again, we were supposed to do the previous. What day did we have? Okay, so on the 4th day, the day that we had Guardians, right? We did Guardians Mission Space and went back. That day, I forgot to mention, we had Chefs de France for dinner that night. We canceled that earlier in the day because like we are stuffed, or we're too tired. We're stuffed from lunch. We don't want a meal at this point, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't do that, and we just kind of want to swim it. We want to do a night swim. We wanted an easy night, so we canceled that. We were going to do Chefs de France for dinner after Yak and Yeti, but by the time we got back, we were like, no, we're just going to stay at the resort. We're done. We're not going back out again. So we just we had dinner, kids swam. I brought my youngest daughter to the arcade for like $10. We got a whole bunch of plays. That's actually a pretty good deal. And then, so we canceled for Chefs de France again. And this is the other day that we used our Lightning for single pass for Flight of Passage. So leading us just under 2 hours for this show, our last day there. We had a lot that we wanted to accomplish. We did not have the will to accomplish anything.
This morning, or that morning, when you looked at all like the achievements and like kind of where you stood, were you like disappointed? Were you kind of like, we made the right call, it is what it is, that we're probably aggressive with everything? Or like kind of what were you feeling when you know you got some of the accomplishments done, but probably not as many as you wanted?
I was sad and resigned that we didn't do all the rides. Like the only thing I wanted to do was all the rides in Walt Disney World. Like I figured we should be able to get this done in 8 days with hopper passes. No. We got almost all the attractions done, but the shows were the real stickler and everything. And it's just scheduling and the heat and everything else like that. But a lot of them were silly, like go to all the Crescent Lake resorts. Like we didn't have time to do that, but that was something that maybe we could have done. I don't know. The other one was like drink Beverly. I've never drank Beverly before, and I honestly don't even know where that is to go and get it done. Right, to be honest with you. So we had things like that. What was some of the other ones here? Hold on, I've got a stack here. Like my mom and I wanted to get like a flight of tequila in Mexico. La Cava. We just never got a chance to do that. So that's still on our list. We had ones like find the best burger on property, but we didn't have places to go for burgers. Like my daughter had a bison burger at Whispering Canyon Cafe. So like, do we go to the new Poly Tower? Do we go to the Contemporary? These are things that we could potentially do. We just never did any of them. Get popcorn at every park, meet Mickey in 5 different outfits. We just didn't have time to go to meet and greets and stuff like that. Nighttime spectacular every single night. I think I talked about that earlier in the show. No, don't want to do that. We need to relax. And there's some other silly ones and stuff like that. Like somebody, I think it was Mama of 6, suggested like find all the Pascals at Magic Kingdom by the Rapunzel area. We found like 4 of them, but then like it got so hot, like we just got to keep on moving. Like there was no time to wander, that type of thing. So to answer your question, was I disappointed? No. I liked how like it all kind of came together a little bit. I thought it was rather fun. I would definitely do the achievement system again. I would definitely make more of them, just so like you're not supposed to be able to do all the achievements. Like this is not a checklist of everything we need to do this week. It's just like how much can we get done, right? So you got to have the right mindset for those type of things.
And some of those things you can definitely just carry forward, right? So like next trip, do the tequila flight or something like that.
Well, I made a mistake with writing my achievements. If you don't notice, I don't know if the camera's going to show this up because I've got a small thing. Because I got this Dodge Family Vacation 2025 on there. Like, do I just take a pen and cross out the 2025 and put whatever year that we go back to do them, or do I print them all out again? I probably print them all out again. I got files for them. Anyway, our last day there, we were going to do Boma, right? This was our second meal. This was one of the meals that we're going to pay out of pocket for because Boma is relatively inexpensive. It's like 30 something bucks
for the breakfast.
For the breakfast. So we went over there. Boma, we went our last time. All the kids wanted to do it again. My mother wanted to try it for her first time. This is our family's second time there. I don't know if I would do Boma again. It's food is good. I just don't think it's worth the time to get there and the cost of all of it because the food's not great. I'd rather go to Ohana again, or I'd rather go to like Whispering Canyon Cafe again versus Boma. But the food is good. Like there's great flavors. It's just I love being at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Like I rather, if I was going to go to Animal Kingdom Lodge, I'd rather do it and go to like Sanaa or something else rather than breakfast and pay the extra money for it. But we went to Boma. We had let's see. We checked in about 10:15. Oh, here's one thing that happened. My daughter had left her bag, like she got first time she's ever carrying a Loungefly on the bus, and we were panicking. But I wanted to give a shout out to the cast members and the bus transportation crew. They found it, they turned it in, and by the time we got to Hollywood Studios to go back to we were going to go see the 2 new shows right after breakfast. The guy met us at the bus as we were getting off. Like the concierge at Animal Kingdom Lodge organized everything. The people at the I don't know what you call it, I don't know where they make all the calls to all the different buses.
Yeah.
There's a word for it, Phil. I don't know what it is. Dispatch area, the dispatch room. They had it there. They met us out as we're getting in. It was all great. My daughter had forgotten her backpack several times, and I've noticed it. And we pretended like, or she'd be panic just to kind of teach her a lesson type of thing. Hand it to her. The lesson didn't work. She lost it for the last time. And another thing, if you remember from my trip report from like 2 or 3 years ago, my daughter had lost earrings in the pool.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So my youngest lost her earrings in the pool at the Big Blue pool. No, it lost it in the Cozy Cone pool that was right in front of our room. But no one panicked because they were like cheap, like, pack of 10, like, studs. And my daughter just dived in and she found, I found my earring. But I can't find my backing. Like, if anybody doesn't know, a backing for an earring is like the size of like 2 pinheads. It's like super tiny. She dove back in and she found the backing. So crisis averted, like all within 4 minutes. I'm like, oh, here we go. We're going to have this whole thing. Nope. I found it right away. So daughter lost 2 different things and boom, we found them both. And anyway, we went to Hollywood Studios. We were back there by noon. We did Villains. We did Mermaid. And you already heard my opinion on that. And then as we were leaving Mermaid, Goofy was doing like the animation courtyard meet and greet type of thing. And we're kind of walking past and I turned around to wait for my mother and a scooter to come by. The kids had already moved past after like my son like high-fived Goofy as he was walking by and whatever. And I turned around to wait for my mother. Like Goofy's like behind me. I don't know if this is coming well out on camera. And he stole my hat. Like I've got, if you see only my pictures, I've got like a big wide brimmed red like sun hat type of thing. He stole my hat, put it on his head, and then it was hanging on his like nose and everything else like that. And we kind of like fist bumped and made it explode. And we walked away. And it was like a really cool, like, moment that he just stealing people's hats, I guess, in Animation Courtyard. So that was really cool. Goofy was awesome. There we went and meet Olaf. It was like a 5-minute wait. So my mom really likes Olaf. That was the first time we've ever done one of those meet and greets that has like the automated cameras.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. They suck. Excuse my language, but they suck. Like the only picture it was snapping pictures. I wish they gave us all the pictures that they snapped, but the one that they took, just my mom and Olaf, like she wasn't looking at the camera or whatever. And it was just like, whatever are you going to do? We do Star Tours again. That was a demand. We got a new mission. I forget which one it was though. It was the one where we were on Endor, with the crashed, Death Star.
Oh, okay.
That routine. So that was kind of cool. And then we went back to the resort about 3:45, and we had made plans to do Chefs de France this night, right? And we made it for like 6:20, and then like at like 4:19, we're like, hey, let's push this back like 20 minutes closer to 7. And then, of course, as I'm doing it, the clock ticks over to the 2-hour mark. Says, nope, can't modify it. I'm like, oh, all right. Anyway, we go to Chefs de France, and I've never been here before. And the restaurant's quite lovely inside. The staff is fantastic. The food was okay. I had the cordon bleu. They had like the prefix menu where you could pick an appetizer for like $67. That's part of the dining plan. So, of course, we took advantage of it. My daughter absolutely did not like the cordon bleu. How she doesn't like chicken, ham, and cheese, I don't know.
You like all those things individually.
Yes, whatever. My son had the beef. Was it beef bourguignon? And bourguignon, that's whatever it is. It's like a beef stew. He loved it. Couldn't finish it. My daughter had the chicken fingers. She doesn't really like chicken fingers. She's weird like that, but she like housed the leftover like beef bourguignon, whatever, when he was done. I had a cocktail prior, and then the glass of wine that came with the dinner. It was quite good. Would I ever go to Chefs de France again? Probably not. Unless the opportunity presented itself, that's just what we wanted to do. But it's not something like I need to go back there again. Like it wasn't like Ohana or Spring Canyon Cafe where the experience is good, the food was good. I want to go back.
I think I'm similar to that. It's funny though, because we haven't been to Chefs de France in a while now, and it's kind of like creeping up. Like maybe we should go back there again.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of, so it's definitely not like an every trip or every other trip, but maybe it's in every 5 years or every 7 years, something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, we enjoyed it, but then, my mom and Cindy stayed and did some shopping in France, just kind of hanging out. And then me and the 3 kids, we needed to see Fantasmic. It's my youngest daughter's favorite show. We hoofed it over to Hollywood Studios, saw Fantasmic, and then we left afterwards. Like we just went in for Fantasmic, and that was the end of our vacation. So it was a long one, Phil. This trip report just hit the 2-hour mark, so we're not splitting this up. You got to listen to the whole thing, boys and girls. I'm not splitting it up. And again, we didn't do Nighttime Spectacular every single night, and I'm definitely okay with that. I don't think that's anything anybody should do. I had some fantasy in my head where you could just stroll into the park, watch the fireworks, and stroll out. Where the reality is, if you stroll into Epcot to watch the fireworks, you're fighting everybody to get out of that park. After
unless you're literally at like the beach club or something like that where you can walk, fine. But like other than that, it's a commitment.
Magic Kingdom, I think we did enough Magic Kingdom. Now, we were talking about this on Discord. Again, one of my final takes. Every time I go to Disney World, Magic Kingdom goes down my list of favorite parks. I think it's like my least favorite park. Still like it. Like it's not like I don't like Magic Kingdom, but it's busy. It's just rides. And if you can't do anything, there's nothing else to do there, essentially. It's always crowded. To me, it's like Animal Kingdom has the beauty of walking around. Epcot hopefully has festivals the next time I go and different entertainment.
Or at least the countries that you could do and stuff. Yep. And then the movies, like you said, sure.
Yep. And then, Hollywood Studios would be like my third favorite. At least it has like those thrilling rides that like if you go in and just do those 2 rides and leave, you had a good time type of thing.
And it has a lot of shows that can take up.
Yes. And it has adult beverages. Like even if you just want to hang out and like get some beers or whatever, you have that option to do that. Yeah. Hollywood Studios definitely needs more rides, which I'm looking forward to with Monsters. It definitely needs better food options in there too. Even though Docking Bay 7 was quite good. We enjoyed that meal. But other than that, I mean, like, I don't know if I'm going to Disney World anytime soon. That's like a big Disney like family vacation. I think we probably will skip next year until like things start opening up again. Like we get new things. But that doesn't preclude me from like going down for like a weekend. Like I like my wife and I want to go down and stay at like Wilderness Lodge and just go down for like a weekend and like just get some food, a little taste of Disney, and then leave. We were talking about my dad kind of regretted not coming down with us, which is funny because he's not an amusement park kind of guy. So that means we might have to get a 2-bedroom DVC type of thing. So we're already like, okay, that's going to cost us like $8,000 or $6,000 to stay
just
there,
for the hotel.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, folks, like start saving if you want to do this, right? Because if my dad comes down, you're automatically doing 2 rooms. There's nothing that sleeps 7 other than a 2-bedroom DVC. And the age of our kids, we're not going to be able to squeeze that in a 1-bedroom with like all that other type of stuff, right? Everybody needs their own bed. So again, do I regret anything? No. The only mulligan I would want to do is pray for the weather to be better. I think that put a huge damper, like I said at the top of the show. That weather was oppressive and just made being at the parks unpleasant. I've never my last family vacation, it was colder than we expected, and then this was much hotter than expected, and the heat makes it much more unpleasant than the cold. At least the cold, we could go out and buy some jackets and whatever. But the heat, just like, I don't want to be outside. I don't want to deal with it. And it kind of associated the parks with being just like disgusting and hot and uncomfortable. Like, I don't like being at my favorite place in the world and feel uncomfortable because of the weather. Yeah. So that was a little unfortunate, but we got a lot done. We had a great time.
And you were able to kind of pivot stuff. I mean, I think it showed the beauty of doing it this way, though, the longer trip with the park hoppers and stuff like that, where if you only had 4 park days and you're like, guys, this is our Hollywood Studios day, we have to stay the whole day to get done what we wanted.
My wife would kill me.
That would have been even worse. So
yeah. I think there would have been a lot of like splitting the day, but like the idea of rope dropping Hollywood Studios, going back for 4 hours, and then going back to Hollywood Studios, but doing that with 4 different parks would just be like,
and knowing tiring. You have to get these things done if you want to get them done and stuff.
Yeah, and the idea of like when we did only like 1 park per trip type of thing, you're leaving sad, right? Here, when you're park hopping constantly, you're not leaving any park sad because like I've spent this many hours over this many days. Like I've had a taste of all these parks, every single, other than Animal Kingdom, which I wish I could get in a little bit better. If they built a Skyliner to Animal Kingdom, like I'd be going in there for coffee and breakfast and coming back like every single day. I love that. Or
if they keep it open later and have the nighttime show, you can hop over there at night or something.
I don't see the hopping at night for me. Like I had to be, thoughtful about this because I wanted the kids to have like easy nights. Like we go take a shower and go to bed. We can lounge around and eat. We're not running everywhere. We can sit down, talk about our day, talk about our vacation. I believe that like time to like decompress and like think about your day is very important when you're in a Disney World trip. So again, fantastic trip. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I love the duration to say it's going to be a while because it is a pricey vacation at that point. I don't think I would ever do the dining plan again, though, Phil.
That's interesting. I was wondering about your take on that because obviously it was a big thing to get it because it was included with the room rate you got. You upgraded it to the table service one. So do you think you would just not get it at all, or would you do the quick service one ever, or just
the quick service? Absolutely, that's still high value. Would I upgrade again? I mean, it really depends on the math. If it makes sense, yes. I love sit down meals. Maybe the heat kind of torqued my brain and mentality about it. There are some nights where I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere for dinner. I want to be at the resort. And the resort didn't have any, we were at Art of Animation. So there's no sit down meals at that resort. Maybe if we were staying at, let's say, the Riviera, we could hop up to Topolino's, or actually we wouldn't because that's 2 credits, but Boat Rights or wherever it might be, like that might be a different thing. But yeah, I mean, like, was the value there? Was it the right choice? Yes. Was the food too much? At times we were full, but like, I was getting quick service sometimes at 9-10 o'clock at night, too. Right. So we were fed. We didn't spend a lot of extra money on food. The biggest cost of our vacation while we were there was just tips on everything, which is what we expected it to be. So yeah, it was, It really depends on the math, but like I think I'd be fine with the quick service and maybe do like 2 or 3 sit down meals. But then I'm thinking 2 or 3 sit down meals that might be like $1,500 anyway. So like,
right,
okay, might as well get it for free,
and then get one other meal or something. Yep,
right. So I still think the dining plan has its point. I thought another thing about the dining plan. Again, I know we're getting over, but I thought we wouldn't have enough snack credits because we used to have 2.
Because you only get 1, right? Yeah,
that was enough. And again, if we were at the parks longer or anything else, maybe.
Or if the festival was going on, maybe. But
the festival for sure, I would have used all my snack credits up in like 2 days. But like, I really wish there was a way, and I know Disney would never do this, to like exchange quick service meals for credits. Like they used to be able to do that.
They used to be able to do that. You could change a quick service meal for 3 snacks, I think it was.
Something like that. I would love to be able to do that because I would love to have like, I would love to be able to customize my dining plan where I would have like, let's say I pay for the Disney dining plan, right? That's the fee that I pay, but I would convert like, quick service to snacks and sit down credits to quick service. Like I would want to configure out how many I get. But I know Disney would never want to build a system that they want people butts in seats at restaurants and they would never do that. So I would love to be able to do that. And I think that's my only like complaint about it, I guess. But all right, Phil, I think we're going to end it here because it's been 2 hours. You have a trip coming up. Yep. You need to get ready for that. We'll talk about that next time.
Yep. At least mine's not 8 days though, so we'll get through it a little quicker.
Down and back. And we'll all talk next week, I think, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
My brain is completely. I don't even know what's happening tomorrow, let alone a week from now. So anyway, thank you for watching, listening, everybody. I know this was in 2 hours. It's a very, very long show. This will be going up on Tuesday as normal, even though we're recording this on a Sunday. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me ramble. We'll catch you next time.
Take care, bro.